What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, January 26th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. A lot of things going on, as always, with our show and what we've created here. And that's all these cappers that have become very close friends and care about each other very much. And one of the low baggers here from Toronto who has supported me. I didn't meet him before I went down to Costa Rica, started working for Sports Book Review. And he did come to the Toronto Low Bag Summit of Champions. And he brought this beautifully rolled giant spliff for me. And he has cancer. Trevor Loudon. He's younger than me. God, he can't be much over 30, maybe 35 at the most. And he's just put that on our YouTube page. He said that's why he hasn't been in the chat, is because he's got cancer. I'm going to look into it further right now, but let's just open the show by sending as much love and positivity and healing energy, but mainly love to Trevor Loudon, a low bagger who's from my very first show, because I took a lot of hate and heat and when I started, and he was extremely supportive and has always been, and he's a great capper and a friend of the show. So Trevor Loudon, who's in our chat often, but he hasn't been in a while, and now that's being explained. We are all thinking about you and can't wait to get you back here capping with us. And know whatever's going on that you will beat this. And I'm going to find out more information too, because this was just put on our YouTube page and was brought to my attention this morning by Jose, who's always looking out for all of us. Oh, and there he is right there. Jesus. My God. Sorry, I didn't even see that in the chat. So just want to let you know I love you. Recently got diagnosed with cancer. Oh, wow. Okay, sorry. All right. Man, okay, so there he is right there. There's Trevor Loudon right there in our chat. Wow. Okay, well, we're thinking about you, man, and I'm going to stay in touch and just do whatever we can to have your back here. Okay, so there's life is always going to be like this. It's always going to be, there's going to be things that are so difficult to handle, and we're going to mix them in with things that are extremely special. And when you have a friend struggling with a sickness like Trevor, you realize that you take things for granted. And one thing that I am not going to take for granted is the fact that I get to see many, many, many low baggers in San Antonio in the end of March. And I expect it to be probably the best 2 weeks of my life. So that's at the end of March. And when life can be so fragile, it's important to know. And it's important to soak in how thankful and lucky we are that we have friendship and that we get to go places and hang out with each other. And with our border being locked down for so long, for so much of the last 2 years, God damn, I'm going to enjoy every second of having the opportunity to hang out with my best friends in San Antonio. And I booked my flight yesterday, so I'm locked and loaded and ready to go. I'd like to give a couple shout outs here. I'd one to Cindy Plays Horses. She gave us out 2 horses yesterday at Turf Paradise. 2 horses that she was looking at. The second horse she gave out, the number 1 Thief in the Night in race 3 at Turf Paradise, went off at 12-1 and won easily. Blew away the competition right from the start, and extended the lead in the stretch. Won by 5.5 lengths. 12-1 morning, or 12-1 line when it popped off through the gates, but $26.30 on the $2 bet. So I want to give a shout out to Cindy. There's always, when we talk about real things that are going on here on the show, we don't talk about any political bullshit. Let's just put our head in the sands like Pistol Pete Loshak taught us. But we do talk about what's important to us. And we would like to do a quick celebration for another capper who's put so much energy into the show since I started. And, a capper that's been in the game for a long time. And so the cappers who've been in this game for a long time, what they respect first and foremost is just honesty, because this business is filled with such fucking what's the right fucking word? I don't know. I don't want to shit on this business too much, but when he saw that Pistol Pete and I were just trying to be the honest cappers in this fucking business, he had enormous support for us. He puts his action in this show every day. He's all about the greater good and us capping together, and now we can celebrate it. Dan Kelly's database playing today. It's in business, and it's now a part of our show. Dan Kelly gave us 4 bets yesterday, cashed 3 of them. Pistons +7, Charlotte Hornets team total over 109.5, Dallas Mavericks +4 -117, which was a lone loser, and Dallas Golden State Warriors over 211. Shout out to Dan Kelly getting his graphics, baby. Getting his graphics, baby. I came off another 2-in-1 day, so we're rolling. And look, my record was so bad that Jose, for a good reason, didn't want to put it up on the show. Thought we'd lose viewers. And he tried to find some levity with it, saying who's asking and things of that nature. But we've gone down from 23 units down to just 6.72. So we're on a big run in NBA. We went 2-1 yesterday. I rode with Dan on the Pistons +7.5. I should have ran with him on the over in that Mavericks Warriors game, because I talked with great fervor about how I thought this was a good spot for the Warriors in the 5th game of 7, but that's a homestand, 5th game of a 7-game homestand. But unlike Dan Kelly's database, I don't have the numbers to prove that, so I probably shouldn't even mention it. Pistons +7.5. I cashed Lakers, Brooklyn under 227. I cashed very easily, and then San Antonio, Houston under 233.5. I lost, but I expected to catch that up until about fucking minute left. So, but Darryl, coming on our show today, has cashed 10 straight sides and totals. Last week it went 10-0 in sides and totals, 0-2 on Pascal Siakam props. So hopefully he doesn't mess with that shit. All right. So there's Dan Kelly dropping, as always, dropping options, action for you guys to move on. There's Vipe in the house. Dennis Garcia also moving in golf. There's Cobra, James S. Yes. My dad's been making the biggest bets of his life against the Canucks the last few days. And he's back in love with them. He says it's just so that he won't be extremely angry after the game. So he put another big chunk. And I've been putting the bets in, which is a rarity for me. A rarity. Okay, it's great to see you guys. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to cap with all you guys. Jared TG in the house. Henry Dice. Danny A. 8-0 in NHL last night. NBA 2-4, about to retire from betting this season. I don't know. I came close to doing that as well, and then I turned it on. So let's just hope we can continue that. Tonight we have our big NFL Pub Hub show. Clint, star of the Die Hard MMA podcast, will be rolling with us. There's Jared TG. There's Foxy ready to get to work. TJ in the house. Great to see all of you guys. Coco Bongo says Devils sucked, but I did hit Edmonton, Vancouver going to OT. Nice job. Yes, the Devils sucked. We did cash the over, but I had a horrible day in NHL. We're going to go over that here in a second. Ron Crawford continues to roll. Love capping with you, Ron. There's Jimmy Gomez in the house. He's going to be coming down to San Antonio. Gerardo Hernandez, we've missed you. There's Puzzler. So many great cappers here in the chat. Thank you all for joining us. Nilo. There's Birdie. We missed him. We missed him yesterday. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today is in. Let me copy and paste this So I have everything. Where the hell is it? Where the hell is it? Shit. Okay, but it is Capitals. I moved on the Capitals. He's on regulation. I moved on the Capitals -1.5. Look, I don't like fading a team after losing 7-1. It's not worked for me, and it makes me very nervous. But there is reasoning behind why I'm doing it, and I will break it down here in a second. Okay, let's just get to work. Danny Lopez, there's Von Polo in the house. We're trying to figure out the hotel. Just get flights right now. We're trying to figure out a way to make the accommodation cheap for everybody. We're working on that. There's Slatsy off another nice day. What's he on? Team total over 3.5 for the Leafs. Flames team total over 3.5. And he's with me on the Caps -1.5. Interesting. Patrick Alvin is the new general manager of the Vancouver Canucks. Geez, I've got to study him. I've got to learn more about him. I don't know enough about him to say anything at this point. So I will do that. Okay, I love you guys. Let's get to work right now. Jeff Shahadi, Jimmy Gomez, Dan Kelly says, no. He doesn't want the attention. Well, we want to give it to him regardless. Foxy, 7-1 day. God, Foxy, you're running so high. I love it. Okay, let's get to work, you guys. Bob Taylor. Michael Evelina says, I still can't believe the Wizards should have been that bad. That's another important thing with what worked for me yesterday. You guys knew I wanted the Wizards. So they were -2.5. I wanted -3. I went to bet them, and they were -4.5. And I'm just not going to do that. And if we all together don't take these bad lines, if we miss a spot, we let it go, it's going to work for us in the end. So I was fortunate in that spot. But I didn't move on the Pelicans first quarter, and we all talked about why that made sense. And we saw what the books were doing. I kind of kept it because I was interested in Sacramento as well. I saw all this money on the Celtics. I saw it move to 9.5. Stayed off that. And then I was really hesitant because when you start winning, you start being sharper and thinking sharper. And okay, so that's what's up. And Sammy B says, big win for our Raps. Look, when you watch everybody now, I mean, we've all fallen in love with Banton out here, right? First Toronto boy to be drafted by our team, representing Scarborough, and 6'8" point guard. And we love seeing everybody 6'8" on the floor. We love it, and it was a problem for the Hornets. It was a huge problem when everybody's 6'8". What are you gonna do? It was really fun to watch. Okay, let's get to work right now. Trinity says he was in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I got to study him a little more. Okay, let's. Ryan Taylor says, told y'all yesterday. Nice job, and we're going to have, which is very exciting. We are going to have Darryl fresh off a 10-0 week on sides and totals. 10-0 week. Remember, Gokster went 6-0 on Thursday, and Dutchie goes 2-0. Shout out to Maxwell Smart coming off another winning day himself. That was a great call on Air Force +115. Von Post has never been in San Antonio. I'm excited. Same with us. I haven't been. Okay, so Duke full game -11. Duke first half -6. We're losers for Max, but then Syracuse first half -2. Texas TCU first half over 56.5, and the Air Force +115. Steve G says again, never take the under on Panthers game. That was a mistake by me. All right, let's get to work right now. Thank you guys for joining us. 5 games on the NHL card, and I'm doing very poorly here in NHL. Devils was a loss. Dallas, New Jersey over 5.5 was a cash. Hurricanes -1 was a push. Islanders -1 was a push. Kraken +140 was a loss. Philadelphia, New York Islanders under 5.5 was a bad loss. Florida under 6.5 was an even worse loss. 1-4 down 3.35 units. Von Polo, I fly in March 22nd, Tuesday. Tuesdays are really cheap flights, right? So I just get the cheapest flights. Tuesday, March 22nd, I get in at 1:30. So Pistol Pete will be taking care of the show. And then I leave the day after the final in NCAA basketball. So I leave. I'm there for 14 days. I leave April 5th. Viper says, don't worry, Jimmy, you will end in the black. Well, I'm going to worry very, very, very much. But yes, I expect to end up in the black and healthy in the black. But I'm 95 and 113. Jose can pop the record up at some point. 45.7%, down 10.12 units. ROI -4.87%, average line +111. I'm very disappointed in it. But I'm attacking this card right now, and I'm starting with this first game on the board, 7 p.m. Anaheim Ducks, 21-16 and 7, 8-9-3 on the road to Toronto Maple Leafs, 25-10 and 3, 14-4-1 at home. We're at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario. This Ducks team has handled a lot of adversity over the last little while. And they got everybody back from COVID except for Josh Manson, a defenseman who's important, and their backup goaltender, Anthony Stolarz. John Gibson's been very good of late. 14, 10, and 6, 2.55 goals against average, 919 save percentage, 1 shutout. Ricky Bobby says, don't really mess with NHL puck, props, but they would be money. Check it out sometimes. Let's get it. I've been trying to stay off of that. Remo says, do you call top or bottom bunk at Jose's house? I've never had that option before. So he's happy.
I'm a top bunk guy.
Well, I'm certainly not a bottom, so we're gonna have to fuck around then. Jack Campbell, 19, 6 and 3, 2.24 goals against average, 927 save percentage. Brady says my confidence in NHL is gone. I don't come yesterday, and I give out NHL winners to everyone yesterday. So sick. Need to get my mojo back. I'm hating NHL right now. Being very mean to me recently. You know that we're gonna catch it. We're gonna keep rolling. Sammy B says number one rule: don't bet it on or against the Leafs. They always find a way to burn us. TJ says Ducks beat Tampa Bay and Boston last 2. I'll roll with that. I agree. This is a ridiculous line to me. So then my situation was, well, how do I bet it if I think it's so ridiculous? And let's just move over to NHL here on the and look, Toronto's a very dangerous hockey team, and I like what they've done with their lines. We're going to get into that in a second, but let's just go over the market right now. Toronto opens up minus 282. They're now minus 270. So a slight move towards the Ducks, and I get it. I don't think this line makes sense at all. This total opened up at 6 and has dropped to 5.5. And I said that we should blindly bet overs on Leafs games, but that was before they moved their lines the way they have. Let's talk about this a little more. So Anaheim power play, 25%, penalty killing, 85.4%. Their special teams have been very good. We are moving on to college basketball next. So it's going to be college basketball. Get your college basketball picks in, and then we're going to have It's Drill for NBA. Toronto power play at 29%. Penalty killing at 84%. Ducks come in as winners of 2 straight against tough competition, and that's what TJ's talking about. They beat up the defending champion Lightning 5-1 at home on Friday night. Then they traveled to Boston and beat them 5-3 on Monday night, almost over the COVID outbreak that ripped through the dressing room. And Sonny Milano, though, still dealing with an upper body injury. He didn't travel with the team. He's an important player. He's got size, toughness, puts himself in the dirty areas, gets in front of the net. A mistake for the Ducks to get their hands on him for so cheap. He's a good hockey player. Adam Henrique may be able to play at the end of this Anaheim road trip. And shout out to Turnsey, the Windsor native, who is an Adam Henrique fan, and for good reason. All right. So also, you know what? I'm going to get into that when we get into college basketball. I'll get into that one. Osby, Terry is back. Troy Terry's back. He's returned from being out with COVID. He leads the team with scoring 23 goals, 14 assists, 37 points. And it's understandable why they would have fallen off when the COVID hit them, because they don't have a lot of depth offensively. And Terry's a big part of this puzzle. Steve G says, what casino will you be at for Madness? That's what we're planning out. We're going to be planning that out over and over and over again, nonstop, until we get to San Antonio. Leafs just finished a 6-game road trip, 3-3. They finished it in a 3-1 win Saturday night at the Islanders. Jake Muzzin, concussion wore a no contact jersey Tuesday's practice, so he's not coming back to the lineup today. He is a very important player, playing 21 plus minutes a game. The reason why it hasn't hurt them as much as I thought, I think, has been the ascension of TJ Brody. We've seen Morgan Riley having an excellent year, 5 goals, 28 assists, 33 points, team leading plus 18. TJ Brody, though, has really offset this loss of Muzzin. 3 goals, 8 assists, 11 points in 38 games. He's a plus 11. He's playing 20 minutes and 49 seconds a game. Morgan Riley, team leading plus 18. Alex Kerfoot right behind him at plus 17. And I mentioned last week, he leads the Toronto Maple Leafs in 5-on-5 scoring, which is very impressive. Mitch Marner has just not done enough this year, but they have separated their lines. Slat says Leafs have juggled lines and Muzzin's still out. I see goals. Lean on full game total over 6 and already bet the Leafs team total. I get it, but I'm going to pause on my idea because of the way they've separated their lines. And Dennis Garcia treated out their lines. It's Tavares, Marner, and Mikheyev, Kerfoot, Camp, and Nylander. Oh, sorry. So Tavares, Mikheyev, and Marner, second line. First line, Matthews, Bunting, and Kashe. So they're putting Bunting and Kashe on with Matthews. And then Marner's not been playing very well right now. You got to get him going. And is Tavares the right player for that? I don't know. And then Camp, Nylander, and Kerfoot. That doesn't scream offense to me. So I moved on the Anaheim Ducks first period plus 185. There's going to be no fans. And the Ducks, I think will step up playing in Toronto. There's going to be on national TV here in Canada. There's Canadians on the squad that means something too, and it is playing at the hollow grounds of the Air Canada Centre. And so I moved on to Ducks first period. I got plus 185 on the Ducks first period. I doubt that has changed, if at all, and it hasn't. I moved on to Ducks plus 185 first period. I think that's a really nice opportunity. Brady says, personally, I believe the value in the game is Ducks plus 1.5. Duckos are still getting no respect in the market, even though they're competing every game. I get that. I don't want the plus 1.5. I don't like those. I still want a big plus line if I'm going to be risk rewarded, and with the a possibility of empty net goals, I don't make those moves. But I get it. Turnsy's on the Anaheim team total over. I'm going to back away from my call about these games all going over in Maple Leafs games. John Gibson has been very, very good lately. And so that's it. I'm on the Ducks for a big score. First period, plus 185. I think they come out hard. And Trinity says going to take a page out of Gokster's book as well. Take Miami team total over a half first period. I think that's a very interesting look. That would be, let's go there. First period. I have to go to the team totals. Sorry, let me just do that. First period. And the team total over half minus 120. It's minus 120 each side. Bet365, such dicks. Okay, so that's my first move. Let's move on. Next up, we have Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play of the day, and that's Washington in regulation. Ron coming off 101 day yesterday because he got the Islanders in regulation, which was great, and then Sacramento hurt him. But shout out to Ron Crawford. He is on Washington in regulation for the spreadsheet play of the day. You know, it's hard to follow that beauty with this, but I just have to.
Oh, I can't get my mouth around that thing. Oh.
All right, let's get back to work here. Next up for us, I'm on the Capitals minus 1.5 at plus 120 as well. I hate, and Johnny K back in the Sharks here, I hate backing it or fading a team that's coming off a 7-1 loss, but I think there were some legitimate reasons for that loss, and I expect the Sharks to continue to lose. And also the Capitals are coming off a 1-0 loss. And the Capitals are just 12-6-5 at home. Can you believe that the Capitals have won one more game than they've lost at home? I mean, that's shocking. 12 wins in 23 games at home. Aiden Hill, don't trust him. Never have, never will. 9-11-1, 2.78 goals against average, 9-1 save percentage. Against Ilya Samsonov, possibly. He's not their best goaltender, but they got to get him hot here. San Jose power play at 17.4%. Now, Erik Karlsson has undergone surgery for a muscle tear in his left forearm. He's not going to be evaluated again until mid-March, and he's important for that power play. They have other pieces, but I don't expect that power play certainly to go up. 82.9% penalty killing. Washington power play at 14.2%. I mean, is Oshie that important to the team? Now that they have Karlsson back, Karlsson played in his first game since COVID. I expect that to help, but that's just shocking. That was absolutely shocking to me. So 80.7% penalty killing. The Sharks have lost 2 straight in 4 or 5. They come off being crushed by the Lightning at home in Saturday night 7-1. And they put, as I said, Erik Karlsson. Let's just take a look at the market here with this spot. We have Washington opening up at minus 180. They're now at minus 210. I missed the move. I wasn't planning on moving on this game until I capped it fully. So I did take it at 210. There has been a 3-cent move to the over at 5.5, which I don't know. And Jimmy Gomez, Sharks money line in my play of the day. And Brady says another spot where I'm going to take the plus 1.5 on the dog. Washington are playing close games, not winning by margin consistently. So another spot where the dog plus 1.5 losing. Karlsson hurts. It's not just Karlsson. They have 2 defensemen who are injured, and Jacob Mania is one of them. But he's not the big one. The big one is a defenseman not very many people know about is Jacob Middleton. So he's hurt. So now they have 3 defensemen out of the lineup and 2 of their top 4 defensemen out of the lineup against an angry Capitals team. And anytime a team has 2 of their top 4 defensemen out of their lineup, I will fade them. Jacob Middleton is second on this team with a +7. And it's Timo Meier at +15. And then nobody else, like Logan Couture, is third at +2. And that's another thing. So Timo Meier's been incredible this year. 21 goals, 25 assists, 46 points, +15. But Logan Couture has 1 goal in his last 5 games, and he's a -6 over that span. The Capitals coming off their second loss in 3 games. Yes, they're without TJ Oshie and the defenseman Nick Jensen, but they got Carlson back. So I'm going to fade the Sharks probably throughout this road trip. That will be my plan, and we'll have to see if it starts off well. So I'm on the Capitals -1.5 at +120. Johnny K saying I'm going to ride the over 2. The Sharks just allowed 7 goals. I'd be surprised if they do this. Kike says if Caps don't show up today, I'm done betting on them for the rest of the season. Says Kike. Okay, I don't like going up against Jimmy Gomez's play of the day, but again, every single time a team is missing 2 of their top 4 defensemen, I will fade. It maybe unless it's the Avalanche, maybe, but every other time. All right, let's roll. Guna Sports Entertainment, thank you for the kind words. Let's move on. 7 p.m. Eastern, Calgary Flames, 19-12-6, 13-8-2 on the road at Columbus. Blue Jackets, 8-20-1, 11-8-1 at home. We're at Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Jacob Markstrom. There's Cindy Play Horses right there. We gave you a big shout-out off the top of the show for your great call in the 3rd race at Turf Paradise. Clint, start of the Die Hard MMA podcast, home track. Shout out. Yes, they are both in. Well, Orlov, I don't have Orlov out, so let's just ensure that here. Injury report. Actually, why don't I just go to? He's not on the injury report. I know that for sure. So why don't I go to depth chart instead, just to see if there's. I cannot believe Keith Yandel is the Iron Man in the NHL. I just a soft power play specialist. Come on. Okay, it's coming up right now. So let's just make sure that. So Carlson played 24 minutes against Vegas, so he's back in action, and Orlov back in action. So they're both good to go. You're right. You're damn right. We can Von Polo blatantly in cops' faces. Flames Jackets next up. Brent Bibby, what a guy! Look at that giant $50 dono. Man, very, very, very kind. Look at that. Thank you for supporting us here at Pub Sports Radio. It means a ton to us. We're so proud to work for Slaughter and the group, and can't wait. I'm so excited about San Antonio, man. And look at that, Brent Bibby. That means a ton to us. A ton to us. Thank you. Cab says, no, you can't. Well, then I'm getting arrested. All right, Flames, Blue Jackets. Fitty from Bibby, says Johnny K. You're a good man, Brent. Thank you, my man. And Brent says, well worth it, guys. Cheers. What a guy. Great guy. Thank you for your support. All right, Markstrom, Merzlikins. Merzlikins playing a tiny bit better than he was playing when I was kind of dumping all over him. Markstrom, 14-9-5, 2.21 goals against average, 924 save percentage, 5 shutouts. Calgary power play, 23.9%, penalty killing at 83.5%. Columbus power play at 15%, penalty killing at 79.7%. I don't know what to do with this Flame squad. They have certain players that are very tough to play against, like a Matthew Tkachuk, who I'm in love with. I think their defense is kind of weak, but they got size on their bottom 6 forwards with Lucic and Monahan. They're probably going to be a tricky out in the playoffs because Markstrom can stand on his head, but still something about me just doesn't trust this team. Johnny Gaudreau playing good hockey. The top 3 forwards, Gaudreau, 16 goals, 32 assists, 48 points, 37 games played at +25. Matthew Tkachuk, 18 goals, 24 assists, 42 points, and 37 games played at +21. Elias Lindholm, 13 goals, 19 assists, 32 points at +25. And the big thing for me is they've all played every game for their team all year long. And with COVID and all the garbage going on, it's impressive. I'm impressed with those 3. This is a very healthy group. Tyler Pitlick out. And they're coming off beating up on the Blues 7-1. Jackets have lost 2 straight and 3 of 4. They come on in off a 2-1 loss at home versus Ottawa on Sunday. And how does Jarmo Kekalainen still have a job? How does he possibly still have a job? He's been there since 2013. He oversaw the best Blue Jacket teams in franchise history. Big, tough hockey teams that were hard to play against. And then he dismantled them for this soft group of pussies. Boone Jenner's their leading scorer with 17 goals. He's the only guy who played on those tough to play against Blue Jackets team. It's filled with soft forwards. He should be fired. He's gone stale, and he should be let go. Defenseman Adam Boakfist out with a COVID out with COVID, and right winger Justin Danforth week to week with a knee injury. This team swept the Tampa Bay Lightning 3 years ago, and you remake them. Pick a line, and you should be fired. And I don't know what to do with the Jackets. You know, they go into Carolina, beat them 6-0. They lose to Florida 9-2. I guess that's what happens when you have pansy-ass forwards on your team. You don't know, are they going to get loose and get some confidence, score some goals, or are they going to get punched in the mouth and go back to the bench like the pussies that they are? I don't know. But, if I was running the Jackets, I would have a pint glass of semen for Kekalainen when he came into work this morning, and a little note saying, "Go fuck yourself, you're fired." Let's move on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Chicago Blackhawks 15-20-7, 7-12-4 on the road at Detroit Red Wings 18-18-6, 13-6-3 at home. We're at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Marc-Andre Fleury 13-13-3, 2.76 goals against average, 9-13 save percentage, and 3. Jake Vallon says, how does Calgary not take this? Do I really want that big of a favorite on the road against the Columbus team that I can't figure out? We know they're going to be a huge public bet. When we go over to NHL, let's just see. I'm sure it's just everybody's on them. So 91% of the – that's on the spread, sorry. 68% of the money line tickets and 87% of the cash. So maybe 68 is not that big. But Columbus just confuses me. There's Kyle Hintley fresh off huge, huge scores. Great job last night, Kyle Hintley, and respect to you. Following you on Twitter now. Rem Most thinks that HR would have an issue with that. Not possible. Sweaty Butcher says, is there sports books in Texas? Kyle Hintley, and thank you, my man. Thank you for your support. Thank you, my guy. And they're not legal sports books, but we can work around that. Okay. So back to this Blackhawks Red Wings spot. My initial thought was, of course, Kenny V says, want to hop on the Wings bandwagon at a discounted price? Is this line is likely to move in their favor? No, Kenny V, that's what stopped me. First off, the fact that the Red Wings were 13-6-3 at home against the Blackhawks, who are 7-12-4 on the road, would only be minus 120 and plus 100 when I first looked this morning was shocking. And the fact that there was an immediate 10-cent move to the Blackhawks within 30 minutes to make it minus 110 each way, I have to pump the brakes. Sean Moser said, all backwards for that kind of stuff. Free money for the state for marijuana and sports books. But no, Sean, don't worry. Wherever we go, all that will be good to go. But we can bet on horses too, legally. Everything else we'll do quietly. Very, very quietly. Marc-Andre Fleury, Alex Nedeljkovic. Chicago power play at 18.8%, penalty killing at 75.6%, Detroit power play at 14.8%, penalty killing at 78.8%. Blackhawks coming off their fourth straight loss, 2-0 at Colorado on Monday. Let's see if this is still moving towards the Blackhawks. By the way, this total at 5.5 moved 1 cent in the direction of the under. And yeah, legitimate moves towards the Blackhawks, which I can't figure out. Kenny V says low scoring affair. The Blackhawks coming off their fourth straight loss, 2-0 Colorado on Monday night. They're certainly trending in that direction. Johnny Taves, God, I was such a big fan of his. And sucks watching you on the ice, Johnny. Awful. 4 goals, 14 assists, 18 points, minus 12. Has played in every game, which is a Johnny Taves-like thing. Dominique Kubalik, thought he was going to be a player. Minus 15, 9 goals, 7 assists, 16 points, 14. If you're a sniper and you're a minus 15, you scored 9 goals. Fuck off. You're terrible. Riley Stillman is still out with a shoulder injury, defenseman Riley Stillman. The reason why I bring that up, they don't have much depth on defense. Red Wings have lost 2 straight. They're coming off an ugly 4-1 loss to Nashville on Saturday night. The 4th overall pick, who was blowing our minds, Lucas Raymond, has 1 goal in his last 18 games. And that's the thing about the NHL. It's even more prevalent in MLB with the 162-game season, but this is a man's league, and you're facing these guys night in and night out, and they want to hurt you. It's their job to hurt you, and it's tough. But this team's building a really strong nucleus. Defenseman Gustav Lindstrom went down to an undisclosed injury. He plays 16 minutes a game. He's a +1. Tough having that last name and a Detroit Red Wings jersey on. Okay, so I agree. Why would we not take the Red Wings? Why would we not take the under? And both have me nervous. I'm not understanding this market move, and there's other spots I like on the board. So I think I made a mistake here, and I would like to check on this last game. Did I make a mistake? Not yet, but I think this will have been a mistake. I think I got on the Bruins too early. It was dumb. I saw the market moving towards the Bruins slightly, and I thought, oh, it was a mistake. Clearly, the public's going to come in on the Avalanche. And look, I'm not on the Bruins full game, but I'm on the Bruins first period. This is a real challenge for the Boston Bruins, and I think that they will rise to the occasion, at least early against. And if you look at who the Avalanche have been beating, nothing too impressive. 10 p.m. Eastern. This is the last game on the card. Bruins are 24-13-2, 10-5-1 on the road. Colorado Avalanche 29-8-3, 18-2-1 at home. Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado 18-2-1 are the Avalanche. With everything they've been through, it's wild. I'm on the Boston Bruins first period. We know this team has character. We know this team has heart. And Pasternak has 11 goals in his last 9 games. And Bergeron and Marchand are going to want to test themselves here and see how they shape up to the favorite to win the Stanley Cup. Linus Ullmark will be in between the points, 14-5-0, 2.55 goals against average, 915 save percentage, no shutouts. Kemper, 19-5-1, 2.63 goals against average, 913 save percentage, 1 shutout. Boston power play at 25.6%. Their penalty killing at 82.7%. This is the last game on the NHL card, and then we'll move quickly into NCAA basketball and Maxwell Smart. Arthur Meade Jr., thank you so much. Says thank you, Pub Sports. Thank you, Jimmy Beck. Thank you, Jose. Man, much love to you. And Nick Schnizzle, giving love to Trevor Loudon. And we're going to stay in touch with Trev and make sure he's okay. I'll do that constantly. So we're going to find that out. Coco Bongo bringing in a game right now. Sean Moser says Avs are a wagon, but I'd stay away from the Avs side here. Statement game for Boston. That's what I think it is, Sean. Perfect. But, look, the Avalanche are the real deal. And I'm going to talk about them in a second here. But special teams-wise, Boston has better special teams, 25.6% power play, 82.7% penalty killing. Colorado, 24.8% power play, 75% penalty killing. Bruins had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 5-3 loss at home to the Ducks on Monday. That can't make them happy. Brad Marchand is a hell of a hockey player. Man, 20 goals, 25 assists, 45 points, 34 games played. But he's just a +1, which is interesting. I've already talked about Pasternak. Nick Foligno just can't stay healthy. So he's out with an upper body injury again. Grizzlies, I have difficulty pronouncing his name, is also out with an upper body injury. The Avs coming off their 7th straight win, 2-0 at home over Chicago on Monday night. Their last 2 wins have been very underwhelming, but great teams do that. Great teams just win games and don't look good doing it. They needed overtime to beat the Habs 3-2, and then they barely got by Chicago. Colorado scoring 4.1 goals a game. They're so deep. And look, I know I keep talking about Devin Taves over and over again, and I can't stop. I just can't stop. He has 8 goals, 24 assists, 32 points in 29 games played. I mean, people just aren't talking about him. So if he is now playing more than any player on the Avalanche. He plays more than Cale Makar. He's a +34 in 32 games. And Lou Lamoriello, gosh, I love Lou. I love you, Lou. But you gave him up for 2 second-rounders to Jolton Joe, Burnaby Joe Sakic, and he fleeced you, Lou. You let an ex-player fleece you. How good would Taves look on your back end? God. Top Set, thank you so much for the dono, you guys. Thank you. It means a ton to us. Top Set, you're a good man. Can't wait to party. Can't wait to party with you, man, in San Antonio. So, by the way, in 82 games for the Colorado Avalanche over the last 2 years, Devin Taves is a +63. +63. But I'm taking Bruins first period at +140. So there is my action here in NHL. 3 spots that I am attacking. Ducks first period +185. Capitals -1.5 at +120. Bruins first period at +140. 3+ spots. And mark my words, I am not going to sit back and just struggle all year in NHL. No. All right. Slatsy says maybe Sakic can get a good goalie. Hey, Pavel Francouz, back-to-back shutouts. Slatsy. That must have been the plan. Okay. TJ says can't join San Antonio. Got to feed the goats, cows, horses, and kids in that order. TJ, I love you, man. I love you. Don't worry. We're gonna do an East Coast thing. This is just they did the first big trip in Vegas when the Canadians couldn't cross the border, weren't allowed to leave. And this is the first one where the Canadians can come to in San Antonio. But we're going to do this all the time. It's COVID that's been slowing us down. All right, let's move into NCAA basketball and our leader, the Cupcake King, coming off another winning night. That Air Force bet was a thing of beauty. Please welcome to the show, Maxwell Smart in the house. Maxie, baby, how are you, my guy?
I'm all right, Jim. How are you?
I'm good. You don't sound as pumped up as we are after cashing Air Force last night.
No, I'm not pumped up. I had a losing night last night. I tried to rinse Gus for a whole bunch of his money, and unfortunately, Northern Illinois, Ohio had different plans, just like Fordham and Dayton had different plans. So they really put a damper on my rinsing of Gus, and I lost money. So I'm back. I'm here. I had a cupcake. Hasn't really freaking made me happier. But hopefully the low baggers, yourself, and maybe Jose will show up, chug a couple beers. I'd be a little happier.
I'm still laughing at Darryl with that glass of wine at 9 a.m. I do not want to get that started. Oh, I can't get that started on Wednesday because we got the big NFL football show tonight. Max, look, I don't mean to be selfish and talk only about what you're doing on this show. But what you're doing on this show is very, very strong. You're on a huge run, and it means the world to all of us low baggers. You did not get off to a good start with Duke, first half full game, and then cash. Syracuse first half -2. That Texas TCU first half over was easy casher, and then Air Force plus 115 was too easy. Great work. Plus 0.94 units on the day. And you are just under 3% with your ROI. That's over 153 bets, and your VIG is very low. It's all very, very, very impressive. J-Row in the house. A lot of love going to Maxwell Smart. Oh, yeah. That's what we're talking about, Cab. Definitely. My lungs are still not in the best shape from the pneumonia I got 3 years ago, so that sounds wonderful. Cab, my man. Okay, let's get to work, Max. Let's look at the games from our low baggers and attack. While I'm pulling this up and getting everything ready for you, is there anything that jumped out at you last night with the games? Is there anybody that you think has, for us, who aren't as heavy into college basketball, for a futures look to win the tourney? Is there any team getting hot at the right time? Is there anything you want to touch on before we go into these games?
Yeah, as far as futures, Jimmy, I rode 2 futures. I'm riding them still, Villanova and Duke, to win their conference, and that does not include the conference tournament. Aside from that, I'm not really interested. I'm a game-to-game bettor. It is enough keeping up with every team in Division I basketball. I don't really have extra time to mess with futures. That takes away from Dr. Mandy and some of the other strippers that I like to visit.
Sounds good. And one of the reasons why I ask, and I might ask once in a while here, is just because I'm going to be in San Antonio for the key parts of the tournament, and it would be fun to have some live futures then. But that's just me, again, being selfish, thinking only about myself. Let's get to work right now. We start with Michael Irvelina and Jose B looking at Iowa State, Oklahoma State. Let's pull this up right now, and it's taking a little while for this to function properly. Let me move over here. Maxwell, this is all getting set up. My lines aren't popping up. Have you taken a look at this game, and do you know the market moves that have happened?
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting move. We've seen a big move in the total towards the over with this Iowa State game, and Iowa State has had some of their better performances on the road. We saw this line open up, Jim, at 123.5. It's up to 126.5. And as far as I'm concerned, if I'm making a play on the total, I'm taking the first half over. But with an Iowa State team on the road coming in, I don't really want to mess with the total. I think that this is an opportunity and a team that they can beat in Oklahoma State outright. Bryce Williams obviously still questionable with the leg injury, and simply put, Iowa State's lost 4 out of the last 5. I think it's time for them to start fucking with their eyes open instead of fucking with their eyes closed. Oklahoma State, yeah, they haven't been that much better either. Of course, they have that signature win against Baylor on their resume now. However, when I look at the numbers, I think that Iowa State has a first half advantage. That's the way that I would play it. And if you were to give me a free play on the total, I would go with the first half over.
Well, let's keep rolling. Great breakdown there. Next up from Coco Bongo. He's looking at Providence Xavier. But a quick question. Birdie says, Max, why is the total so low in Iowa State, Oklahoma State?
Just because Iowa's point per possession and their tempo stats would make that possible. I think that with Oklahoma State, we did see the line open up in favor of Iowa State. I would call it an Iowa State line, and that's why we've seen the movement. However, I'm really just not sure that Iowa State is going to allow Oklahoma State to run wild on them and get to 65 or 70 points. So, like I said, it's a spot where I'd only bet it if you gave me a free bet, and I think that the value definitely is more so with the side.
Next up, we are wondering about this Xavier Providence spot. Pops off at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. 21 ranked Xavier on the road, opening up as 8-point favorites. Let's move to 8.5 at Pinnacle. This total has dropped a point or a point and a half, depending on where you shop from the 139 opener. What do you think here, Max?
Yeah, listen, I think that with Xavier, you do have a finally complete Xavier team. You're seeing a lot of Colby Jones's good stuff, and Zach Fremantle, I'm just waiting for him to take that next step forward. I think that from a defensive perspective, it's really important to locate and make sure you don't allow Nate Johnson to go off from the 3-point line. Otherwise, when I look at this line and ask myself, why? Why is Xavier an 8-point favorite? I don't understand it. This is a Providence first half full game spot for me. I'll make the first half official on the show, and that's because I believe with Providence, they're a volume free throw shooting team on the road and at home. They're able to shoot enough threes to keep a defense honest and spread the defense across the floor and allow Nate Watson to go inside with less double teams. And with their ability on the offensive glass, it's something that Xavier has struggled with. And I think that could be the difference if it is a game that Xavier's going to win by more than 2 buckets.
All right, Max. Opening up his account with Providence first half. I will line shop while we are breaking down the next game on our slate. We have Miami and Virginia Tech. Questions about Miami, Virginia Tech. Let me pop this open so we can break it down. Tech opening up as 6-point favorites, now 5-point favorites, and this total has dropped a half point or a full point from the 137 opener. What do you think here, Max?
Yeah, for me, there's nothing really for me to do on the total. I think that if you've been backing Miami, you got to keep on backing Miami. Miami's done pretty well as a dog on the road in conference, and this is another test for them. When you have some of the resume building wins that this Miami team has, Jim Larrañaga is getting the best out of his team because they're healthy right now. And a healthy Miami team is a dangerous Miami team at this number.
All right, let's keep rolling. Get your action in here. Get the games that you want talked about. We have the best of the best here with Maxwell Smart rolling with us. Wofford Chattanooga is the next up on the docket. Capper's wondering about this spot. Wofford Chattanooga. Let me pull this up. We have Chattanooga opening up as 5.5-point favorites, and this total, if this is has. Oh, no, this I don't know. These numbers don't make any sense. So there's a mistake here on the board I'm looking at. I don't know what's going on with the total. Maybe you can fill us in there. But this is Chattanooga at 5.5 points. Take it away, Max.
Yeah, listen, plain simply, we saw this total open up 138. It's now down to 136. There's been a lot of issues when it comes to who's available for Chattanooga and who's not. Last time out, David Jean-Baptiste was back in the lineup, and there wasn't really anything that came across any of my social media feeds that was going to let you know about that. Obviously, with him in the lineup and with Silvio De Souza taking the step forward in his development, finally being able to get on the floor and play, is definitely playing fruitful for Chattanooga. And against Wofford, they got to be aware of how Wofford gets off to good starts. They've been pumping it up offensively during first halves in conference so far, and it's a 3-point barrage that you got to worry about. And that's the one area of weakness defensively that I see for Chattanooga. I think Chattanooga definitely has to keep this game low scoring in order to have a chance to cover. And if they can't, they're going to be forced to play Wofford's game. And that's where Wofford and Max Keesmit are going to be at a better advantage. At the end of the day, I think Chattanooga wins, just nothing strong enough for me to make official on the show.
Next up, Kyle Hintley, and fresh off a giant night. Congratulations, Kyle. It was really fun seeing your action. He's looking at Boston University Lafayette. Boston University opening up at -4, still at -4. This total is anywhere between 135 and 136 right now. Max, what do you think here?
Yeah, this is just a straight Boston U spot for me. Any way that you look at it statistically, Boston U definitely has the advantage. I think that with their experience, with their ball handling, their ability to actually be able to bring Walter White off the bench instead of forcing him to start gives another layer to this team. And if they can get out to a good lead, establish themselves at the free throw line, this is a group that is finally probably coming together and will be rising to their preseason ranking within the conference. I think that the 2 wins that they've had against Loyola Maryland and Lehigh, the one against Loyola Maryland was particularly impressive because I was on the other side of it. And I will say this, I think that they go into Lafayette, and even though Lafayette's been able to beat Army and American in the last 2, I don't think that they have such an easy time. From a number perspective, Jim, I do think that Boston U has a direct advantage first half as a favorite, especially with the line probably going to move more in their favor as the day goes. I think that's what I'll make my official second play on, because based off my numbers, it's probably about a 6-point advantage.
All right, well, let's lock you in and hook up Nut Flush. We got you, Nut Flush. Kyle Hintley and loving the Boston U spot. Next up, and sorry, let me just pull that up again. So sorry, can you remind me what I'm line shopping for here?
Boston University first half.
Boston University first half. The best line that we could get so far for Providence first half is -5 at -106 at Pinnacle. Can anybody out there beat that? It's -5 at -107 at Circa, and Max is always taking lines that are available for people to bet right now, which hurts him in the long run. So if we could help him out, that would be absolutely great. Brent Bibby, my God, another $50 dono, Brent. Wow, thank you, man. Geez, that's it means a ton to us here at Pop Sports Radio. Thank you so much. This is really special, man. Thank you, my guy. Very, very, very cool. All right, Max, Brent's loving what you're doing, so let's keep that up. I'm going to line shop for you for Boston here. And next up, we have your Bonnies going up against George Mason. Bonnies, George Mason is what the guys want to hear. That comes also from Kyle Hintley. And let's see what we're dealing with in this spot. We have the Bonnies opening up as 2-point favorites. They're now 2.5 for 3, and this total has dropped like they usually do here, 133.5 all the way down to 130.5. Take it away, Max.
Yeah, listen, Jim, I think you guys know what I'm going to say. I'm on my Bonnies. I'm on them first half. I'm on them full game. I think that the first half definitely has a direct advantage statistically. And with the Bonnies, it's literally rolling the dice and throwing it at the wall because we don't know if they're going to freaking bring offense or not. And this is no exception. I think that when you look at how talented that this George Mason team is and how much better they play on their home floor, and the improvement in coaching with Kim English, it's definitely going to be an interesting game. I have to assume that my Bonnies are going to come out, be able to score, be able to close out on jump shooters, and do a good job of protecting the rim with Koulibaly and, of course, Oshuni. I do think that George Mason does have a lot of value when it comes to coming back in second halves. That's what we've seen them do. So the Bonnies are going to have to be on their best defensive game, and we have seen them start to get a little bit better defensively in conference. No one's shooting above 42% versus them, and the three-point defense is slowly but surely getting better. Big free throw advantage for the Bonnies. If they get into a lead and they get into that situation, I have a lot of faith in them being able to close out games. This is one that they close out because you need to get these wins. Your schedule gets a lot tougher when we get into February. Bonnies, first half full game, not going to make it official, but I think that there's reasons outside of my fandom to back them.
We have Maxwell Smart rolling right now. And Michael Irvelina won San Diego State, Utah State. Let's move over there. We love Michael Irvelina, always supporting us here. San Diego State, Utah State. Let me find this. Should be Lego. There we go. Sorry. This is the final game on the card. And, we don't track these individually, but Max has had a really nice run here on the late game, the last game on the card, which is sometimes called the Degenerate Special. But the final gambling opportunity on Wednesday evening is this game, Max. San Diego State, Utah State. San Diego State opening up as 2-point road favorites. That's down to 1 at Pinnacle. And this total, which opened up at the bottom floor of 126.5, has shot all the way up to 129 at Pinnacle, 130 at Bodog. Take it away.
Yeah, listen, from a stylist perspective, this could be a really ugly game. However, I think we're going to see something that we've seen from SDSU at least this month in their limited opportunities to play, and that is a team that can score above 60 points. I think on the defensive side of the basketball, that's where the questions are going to be. Utah State is a mess right now. This is a buy low spot on them being able to get something going and playing a slow down defensive style of game. They tried it against Fresno. They tried against Boise. It did not work. They need to ramp up the offense. A problem with that is Rylan Jones is questionable. Brock Miller's out. So you need Justin Bean and Brandon Horvat to run the floor and dominate in the front court. When I look at these numbers and I see a first half total under 60 or at 60, it's just too low for me. I think that this is a spot where we see points early. We see Utah State have to play an up-tempo because if they play slow, they're playing right into the Aztecs' hand. And I think with the Aztecs, what's been most impressive recently has just been the fact that they've been able to score the basketball. So I'm riding the first half over in this game. I'll make it official for the show. And that 22% Utah State three-point shot right now, it is ugly. They're not shooting a ton of them, but it will eventually come back to earth. So I'll ride with the offense that has been sucking, figuring it out against one of the top defenses in their conference.
First half over will be Max's third official play on this board. I will line shop for him while we discuss Arthur Meade Jr., good friend of both of ours, Maxie. He's looking at Mercer Samford. Samford sitting as 1 point lukewarm favorites here with his total right around 145 or 145.5. Max, what do you think?
Yeah, listen, I think that it's a tough number. I wish that I had a couple more points on either side, but at this number right now, I'm just going to have to leave it alone.
Stay away spot on Mercer Samford for Max. Breaking down every game that you guys want. What a guy he is. TJ, our guy TJ, looking at ODU Charlotte. By the way, you guys should follow TJ on Twitter. I'm going to pop his Twitter handle here in a second, but he gave out the winner for last week's golf tournament, and Nutflush Allen ran with it, and it cashed at 150-1 is TJ. So I'm going to pop TJ's Twitter handle in the chat so we can all follow him. Capalot Pops, what's happening, man? Great to see you. But TJ looking for the ODU spot. Let me find it here. Old Dominion, Charlotte. Charlotte opening up as 3-point favorites. No movement that I see here, but this total. This total is dropped from 135 to 132, Max. Can we help TJ find a winner on this game because he does so much for me? Oh, 200 to 1 for TJ, 151 to Nufflush. Damn, TJ, great work. Take it away, Max.
Yeah, listen, Jim, I think that when we look at this game, it's surprising to say this and these words coming out of my mouth right now, but Old Dominion's been an over team lately. They've been hitting some pretty high numbers, and pretty much all their games that they played since, I don't know, the last week of December have gone over this number. So if there is going to be a catalyst in this game on the total, it's going to be ODU running it. And we've seen Charlotte have a variety of different performances. We've seen them be able to freaking win low scoring, grinded out games, most recently against Rice. But we've also seen them get blown out by FAU. I think that with this team, they are better on their home floor. This is when they can really control tempo. And at 132, I'm definitely looking towards getting on and over, because I think that Charlotte, and specifically Jameer Young, is going to have a lot of matchup advantages. From a number perspective, Old Dominion definitely is going to give Charlotte a fight in the first half. It's really going to be who comes out after halftime with the better halftime adjustments. I think Old Dominion is going to be the one, and I'm looking at Old Dominion full game.
Let's keep rolling. Max is running hot on the show as well, coming off another winning night last night here. He's made 3 official picks. We'll go over them at the end of the spot. We don't have much longer, so let's keep rolling. Next up, Elliot V, looking at Arkansas Ole Miss, Max. Arkansas Ole Miss. Let's see what we have here. We have Arkansas opening up as 4-point favorites. This is at Pinnacle. I'm always going to give the Pinnacle opening lines. Pinnacle's moved it to 3.5. This total has gone from, I don't know, Max, this site just I don't trust anymore. When they're all numbers are all over the place, I don't even want to mention it because it could be wrong. So let us know what you've seen from the total movement wise. But we do see 3.5s, 4 and 4.5s for the road favorite Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yeah, listen, Jim, we've seen a pretty hefty line move when it comes to the under in this game. It did open up at 139.5, is down to 135. Okay. And I understand the line move. I think that Arkansas definitely throws their wild card hat into it, because with their personnel and their shooting, it's just so inconsistent. They've been on a 4-game winning streak, so they are coming in hot, and this may be viewed as a really short number. It's just all about freaking who's going to be playing those minutes. I like that Coach Musselman has moved Stanley Moody into the starting lineup. I think that shortening the bench is a good thing until you need someone to come off the pine. And if Arkansas is going to play like that, I think that that's going to give a lot of confidence to a roster with a lot of internal competition to get the best out of his players. And that's something that gets lost when we talk about these teams with depth, the internal competition. I think that when you look at Mississippi, Matt Morrell and Deshaun Ruffin have definitely come through last time out, both putting up 20 birds. Are they going to be able to do that against Arkansas? I'm not so sure. I'm only looking at betting Arkansas first half, and then I'd be willing to freaking lay something on Ole Miss full game, but definitely has the stench of tale of two halves in this game.
All right, let's see if I can. Max, do you want on the San Diego State, Utah State first half over, you want 60.5 at -110 or 60 at -114?
60 at -114.
All right, let's drop that. That's available right now at Circa Sports. Let's keep rolling. Next up, our man Birdie, who does so much for us, and selfless capper, Michigan Northwestern for Birdie. Let's see what we are dealing with, Max. Not a lot of books have this up for whatever reason, at least here. We'll go with Will Hill. Will Hill has Michigan -7 and this total at 138.5. I don't know if that's what's actually going on in the market, but take it away here, Max. Michigan Northwestern.
Yeah, listen, I think that with that line, Jim, I think that it is a little accurate, maybe a little slow. I think that mostly eights are available, but with the first half, I do think that Michigan at 4.5 has value. We have seen Michigan be able to get off to some good starts, specifically against Maryland and Indiana, to break their 3-game losing streak. I think they're on a roll now that they're healthy, and I think that we're going to see Michigan go up big at halftime. So Northwestern always has more trouble on the road. I think against this opponent with the versatility of Hunter Dickinson down low, if they bring a double and you leave a 3-point shot, a 3-point shooter open, specifically maybe Caleb Houston, well, I think that could be the nail in the coffin. I think Michigan is definitely the play here when it comes to the first half.
Then, Max, the other game Birdie looking at is Florida at number 18th ranked Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee opening up as 8.5-point favorites, money moving on them. There's 9.5s and 10s are now on the board. This total's gone from 133 to 131. This game pops off at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's the first big game on the sports card for us here in North America. Take it away, Max. Florida, Tennessee.
Yeah, it's not really a game that was high on my list of priorities, but I do think that there is value with Florida now that the number's gotten where it is as a first half dog. I think Florida, we have to realize that Colin Castleton definitely is a good player, but he's not gonna single-handedly determine the fate of this Gators team. I think that with the Gators coming off a bad second half, it is expected for them to be a little more competitive. And if they aren't, we've seen Tennessee put some teams down. I think that it's a game where I take Florida first half, but I'm ready to pull the trigger on a live bet, depending on what I see.
Next up, Dan Bonner, who's been great in the chat with the short time that he's been rolling with us. He's looking at this Binghamton-Hartford game. I know you know Hartford very well, as every team, but you've really had a great read on Hartford over the last few years. They're opening up a -6. We see 5.5s and 6s on the board. This total opened up at 141. There's a 141 and 141.5. What do you see here, Max? Binghamton-Hartford.
Yeah, it's a super revenge game because these guys just played about, I think, 2 days ago. I think that with Binghamton being able to come back against Hartford, you're going to probably see a better effort from Hartford, especially on their home floor. For me, the only thing that I'm interested in is Hartford team total over. If we're going to see a Hartford rebound, I'd rather just be betting on them and then allow myself some live betting room when it comes to the side. It's a tough spot because Binghamton does match up very well with them. And I think that when you get 3-point shooting from Tyler Bertram and company, that is what Binghamton misses on a regular basis. If they get that like they did last game and then be able to lock down defensively, because Hartford was able to score early and then not late. It's a tough spot for me to bet on the side. That's why I like the team total best.
Sebastian A. looking at this Presbyterian Charleston Southern spot. Presbyterian 5.5-point road favorites. This total has dropped a point from 132.5 to 131.5 at Pinnacle. What do you think here, Max?
Listen, with Presbyterian, they're very dangerous to take on the road. When Charleston Southern, obviously they're a team in flux, and with Talik Chavez and Emery Knox, these are two guys that can have a big impact, but I do think that Claudel Harris makes or breaks Charleston Southern's game tonight. The 6'3" guard has definitely been a potent offensive weapon, a guy that you can regularly count on for double digits. It's just a matter of can he control some of his turnover issues, and definitely recently he's been able to take better care of the basketball, and that's what Charleston Southern needs. I rather back Charleston Southern when they're a 14 or a 15-point dog. At this number, I'm willing to back Presbyterian full game and hope that they can bring that home level of defense that we've been seeing over onto the road against this Charleston Southern team.
Great breakdowns across the board. We are running out of time with Maxwell Smart. We do have a couple more questions. One from Jake Valent. Jake wondering about this spot here. I just had it in front of me. Northern Iowa versus Evansville. Northern Iowa opening up as 9-point road favorites. We see 9.5s, 10s. Some dice books that we don't talk about are at 11. And this total's gone from 133 down to 132, 131.5. Northern Iowa, Evansville, Max.
Yeah, listen, I think that with Evansville, obviously they had that revenge game against Illinois State that they made a lot of people look bad against. I just think that we are going to see this group freaking have a rebound game. So I just think that at the end of the day, there probably is some value taking Northern Iowa first half. You want to see how Evansville is going to come out, and if Northern Iowa is drilling threes on Evansville's defense, I think that doing what Illinois State did to Shamar Givens and trapping him every time that they get the ball over the half court line would be something that I would try also. I think that with AJ Green in the lineup, it allows Noah Carter and Nate Heisey to have more impact offensively. And I just think that Northern Iowa, on a talent perspective and then from a number perspective, is going to be able to take care of business at least first half in this game, if not wire to wire.
I expect this to be the very last game we ask about for Max, but a couple people have added, but we only have Max for so long, and you can catch him every day, 5 p.m. Eastern, alongside Connor Mack. The next spot that is being brought in is from Dabby Cab, our guy Dabby Cab, the Dab father here. He is looking at this big game in Notre Dame here. I had it right in front of me. NC State, Notre Dame. Notre Dame 5-point favorites at home, and this total, if this number is true, opened at 137 and shot up to 143.5, Max?
I saw the line open at 146 and go down to 143.
Okay. Yeah, I can't trust these numbers. My bad. About 143.5 and -5. Take it away.
Yeah, listen, simply put, I'll make this quick. Notre Dame at home against this NC State team, I'm only looking at Notre Dame first half full game. Notre Dame from the 3-point line, from the free throw line, very dependable, very consistent. And even though this team has a shorter bench, they have very dominant players. Paul Atkinson in the front court is phenomenal. Byron Wesley is really taking on the ACC by storm, and not a lot of people really are giving this kid recognition, but he has changed the direction that this Notre Dame team was going this year. So I think that they continue to fuck with their eyes open, and I would be willing to freaking back Notre Dame first half and full game in this spot, especially on their home floor, even with NC State being able to really amp up their offense in the second half and be able to change the freaking outlook of the game. I still think that Notre Dame is going to win this game comfortably. And while NC State may have a shot at keeping this game close for a little, without their full roster and all their front court missing pieces, not today. Notre Dame fighting Irish.
Max, you do a hell of a job balancing all of these games, all of these teams. We'll let Mike M put a bow on this. Butler, Creighton. Creighton opening up at 4. It's down to 2.5 at Pinnacle, and a very low total from 126.5 down to 124.5. And Mike M's question is this a trap spot for Creighton?
I think that it could be viewed as that. With Creighton, we've really seen some lackluster performances on the road, with the exception of the Marquette game. When you watch a team go into Villanova with that much emotion and animosity between the two programs, and you lay a lame duck and put up 41, I don't care what you're freaking doing on offense at home. It doesn't matter. You got to be able to win on the road in the Big East. And it's going to be tough to beat this Butler team at home. And that's, yes, brace yourself. I just said it's going to be tough to beat this Butler team at home. But now that they're healthy, they are a little better. I think that the value really is with the over. I think that as long as they keep on lining these games under 130, that's the way that I'm going to be looking at it. But to Mike M's question, I do think that Butler does seem very trappy at 3 or 3.5.
And our guy, Trusty, whom we love so dearly, has one last question. He put so much energy into the show. He was just wondering about that NC State Notre Dame spot. He says, at what point would you move on the over since it's dropped so much?
Well, first off, as a part-time steam chaser, I would literally just wait as long as I can. As long as you're able to pay attention and follow the line history, I would say wait 5 minutes before the game, 10 minutes before the game. We don't know how the steam is going to affect it right before. And we know that lots of bettors, probably not us, but other bettors, they bet right before the game. And that money sometimes moves it, in my opinion. That's up for debate, though.
Absolutely great stuff from Maxwell Smart. He's moved officially on 3 spots here on the show. Providence, first half -5 at -106. Boston, first half -2 at -110. San Diego State, Utah State, first half over 60 at -114. And the man is running hot on the show. Max, great work, my friend. Catch Max today, 5 p.m. with Connor Mack. He'll be there Monday through Friday. Max, any last words for these great cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, listen, I think that you guys are doing a great job in supporting the show, supporting Jimmy. That's what we got to do. That's the most important thing. This is why I do it. And listen, Jimmy's doing great work. He has a great hack game going on. Let's make sure that we shower him with compliments about that. And of course, let's remember that we need stories about the pigeon sex and all the pigeon sperm flying around the place, because I'm not in Parkdale anymore. And I do miss the sound of pigeon sex.
Oh, Jesus, just fucking goosebumps, man. It's a quiet moment in between fuck shows here. Jameson Avenue, a quiet moment. There's Maxwell Smart. What a spectacular job from Maxwell Smart. We move into NBA, and I've been counting down the minutes for your next guest to grace the screen. What a wild week he had last week. He went 10-0 on sides and totals, and it was just one man that held him back, Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam props go 0-2. What an incredible week for our next guest. Please welcome to the show from Los Angeles, California, Darryl Rice rolling with us. It's Darryl, baby. It's Darryl.
Yo. What is good, Jay? What is good, man? Happy to be back. Been on a tear, man. But yeah. Pascal, Pissant Siakam just won't let me be great at all, bro. Will not let me be great. And what do you know? This fool went off yesterday. But anyways, yeah, happy to be back talking ball as always, bro. It is really, really good to see you. And let's just get to work, man.
It's such a funny record, dude. It's so funny. You sweep the entire, you go 10-0 in sides and totals. What incredible work. Our man Darryl climbing fast here on this show. 33 wins, 26 losses, hitting at 55.9% plus 5.29 units. ROI plus 8.97%. Average line minus 106. Darryl running hot, and he's hot on the heels of Dutch Boy Fresh. And, there's no competition between campers. We just all want to win together. But you are playing very, very impressive capping here on the show. Let's get right to work. We got a huge card to attack. And I've been holding on very tightly to your threads. I've been trying to hold on to your coattails, and I've been trying to ride with you, and it's been working for me, Darryl. So I thank you very, very much. It's been a very nice run.
I almost pulled out the wine. I came close, man. I really came close, but I was like, nah, I don't want everybody to think I need to be in rehab. So I already looked at Friday's games, bro. I'm telling you, I just might have a whole bottle before the show. I promise you.
Let's try to save that to Fridays. Let's try and say, even though Friday, because we got the horse racing show on Friday nights, I start drinking that early. I'm just gonna be a mess. Darryl, your shirt reminds me of, I had an Eazy-E shirt that was similar, but it said hip hop thugster on the top of it.
Oh God,
and
I can imagine you wearing that.
I remember walking in Vegas with it, and I guess because that was back when we wore real baggy shit. I guess it was just too big of a shirt for me, and I guess the Thugster was kind of, you couldn't see because the hip hop thug, and they couldn't quite see the T on Thugster, so it looked like a hip hop hugster. And I was walking by a couple of guys who were like, "Oh, check out the hip hop hugster over there. Look at this fucking hugster right there." And I believe that was the last time I wore that shirt.
Yeah, man. I the thing is, I brought up. Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. I don't care. When you get older, you just learn how to, to be easy with your loot. Like, I'm a Target shopper, bro. I love Target. You know what I'm saying? So I was looking for my Kobe shirt, on the, here it is, where we are mourning his 2-year anniversary of his loss. but I just had to wear the next great thing. So either you're a Pac guy, right, or a Biggie guy, right? So, I'm a Biggie dude. I think he is the king. So, shout out to Biggie. And this really, I mean, this really should be Kobe here, but I couldn't find that shirt. So,
well, I'm with you. I was a Biggie guy over a Pac guy.
Yeah,
and but
let's get to work. But I'd be interested to see what the chat would have to say about who they preferred, Biggie over Pac. And I think the majority of them will be Biggie.
I think so too. But both spectacular rappers. All right, let's get to work. It is time to rock.
Bro,
I can't.
Where's my wine? Where's my wine? Hold on.
Oh, good.
Jesus.
I can't name one Tupac song. Sorry, Darryl.
Okay. Oh, God. Okay, don't ruin this. Don't just completely ruin this. That's what he does. He completely fucking ruins situations there. Okay, we are ready to go. I'm having a problem here with this. I'm gonna have to pull out and start again, but we're not going to talk about the actual. I'll give just the pinnacle line here, and we'll get rolling. Milwaukee Bucks. And Cleveland Cavaliers, 7 p.m. Eastern. Bucks 30-19, 13-11 on the road. Cavaliers 29-19, 14-9 at home. Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. I came close to two different bets today, and I stopped myself. I was like, don't mess around with what's working. Talk it out first. Even if you get a worse line, talk it out. Milwaukee 3-2 over their past 5, 5th in pace at 100.60 possessions game, while Cleveland 4-1, 26th in pace at 95.70 possessions a game. Let's move over to what Pinnacle is sitting here with. We'll talk about market moves when I have everything up. But we have the Bucks as 4.5-point favorites here at Penny at -101. No vig. This total at 218.5, and that total at 218.5 is juiced to the under.
Yeah.
Bucks come in off their third straight win, 133-127 at home over the Kings on Saturday. A well-rested group. Middleton went for 34. Drew went for 26, and they played without Giannis. He set out due to right knee soreness. He scored 30 the night before in their win over the Bulls. He's listed as probable. Wesley Matthews will not be in the lineup. Let's take a look at where the cash lies here. Over to NBA in this spot. Looking forward to hear what Dan has to say about his Cavaliers as well. 34% of the tickets on Cleveland, 55% of the cash. And then from a total standpoint, 50% of tickets on the over and 61% of the cash. Then we talk about this Cavs squad coming off their second straight win, 7th and 8, 95-93 at home over the Knicks on Monday. Garland goes for 13 and 12. Kevin Love comes off the bench for 20 and 11. Evan Mobley goes for 15 and 12. Lauri Markkanen ankle out indefinitely. Jared Allen sick, and we don't know if he will be available. Viper MB says Cleveland 1-3-1 against the spread last 5. Says totals gone under and 15 in Cleveland last 22 games at home. Darryl, 10-0 last week. Let's not bring it up anymore, just because it's just the tough act to follow. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be perfect, but we sure liked it when you were perfect.
I know, man.
Take it away.
Pissant, Siakam. I can't get over that. I'm telling you this, man. This feels like a Bucks game. It feels like a Bucks game, right? This is going to be the third time they've played this year, and I think they split it. What you need to really wait on is the Jared Allen news, because you need Jared Allen to help build that wall. What I like and what I thought would make sense would be, obviously, because we do take Cleveland, especially when they're the dog, first quarter and first half. But when you look at the numbers, man, they're kind of neck and neck there as well. If you look at the opponent's points per game in the last 3 first quarter, Milwaukee is allowing 28 and Cleveland is allowing 23, right? But if you look at the first quarter, ATS is actually flipped. Cleveland's been losing a couple of these first quarters. So it's the numbers kind of don't make sense to take Cleveland first quarter, but you would think there would be some points scored on Milwaukee's Bucks side. But at the same token, Cleveland's so good in the first quarter. You have Markkanen out as well, and then you don't know about Jared Allen. Where it seems that the look should be is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks first half. You've got a shorter line, and basically the Bucks have been on a tear as of late. They're playing like championship team Bucks. So I'm leaning Milwaukee first half, and I'm telling you right now, that is the look. But the only problem I still go back and forth with is the fact that Cleveland's still first. They're still first, Jimmy. They're first in first half ATS. And you know where they thrive and why they're first? Because they cover those ATSs as a dog. Right? So it's one of those things to where if you're going to make a play, the strongest play would be Bucks first half. But if I'm right, the Bucks just lost their last first half play or the game before that. So first half is a lean. This is telling. So I decided to stay off of it for now. I might get to this, and every time I say I might get to, I don't get to it, and it works out in my favor. So the lean should be Bucks first half. I don't really trust the first quarter because the numbers are flopped, but I would take the first half.
Joe Yurkovich says Bucks offense on the road has been way down statistically, first quarter and first half.
Yes, statistically, yeah, but look what they have been doing away. Remember when we were talking about the Bucks, how they basically have a doppelganger team, right? They're one team when they're away, and then they're another team when they're at home. But now they seem to be playing and they're getting up. Right, they've played all of their last 3 wins have been at home, so it's been a 3-game homestand, and now we got to see if they carry that momentum. If Cleveland's going to get up, it's going to be the second half because they have not been winning those first half spreads. So with me here, statistically, yes, he is correct, but if you look at them at a more recent viewpoint, Cleveland hasn't been covering those first halves and first quarters like they generally do. So the reason why they're in first, look at their last 10. The reason why they're in first is because they started off strong. They were such a good team, and the books were not catching up to them, and they were always the dog. So if I'm looking at their last 10 right now, first half ATS, Cleveland's 5-5, the Bucks are third, 6-4. If you look at their first quarter ATS, Cleveland is 6-4, and the Bucks are 8-2. So even the Bucks are doing good first quarter, but this one's hard to gauge. I would just stay off of it if you don't have a decent look.
So there's some interesting stuff going on here. First off, you have who cares? Wesley Matthews in the lineup or not? You have a Bucks team that I know they said that Grayson Allen's dealing with a hip injury after the suspension. I don't know really what's going on with him, and we know that there's no Lopez, but you got Crazy Eyes Portis in there.
Grayson's a dirty motherfucker, man.
You have to be when you're.
Oh, stop.
When you look like him.
Oh, stop. You don't have to.
So you have to play on an edge. You have to fight back. You have to hurt people. I don't have a problem with how Grayson Allen plays at all. You want players to be on that edge. Look, that was an ugly play. Ugly play against Caruso. It was ugly. It was the second knock made no sense, but look at him. Looks like a preppy ass little bitch, and he's playing in the NBA.
Yeah.
Now he did it in college too, and he didn't have to necessarily do it here. But look at the way he looks. He's got to be fucking evil if he wants to. I don't know. I get it though. But when we're talking about this team, this is a Milwaukee team that's ready to roll right now. Drew playing great ball, Middleton playing great ball. You have Giannis taking the last game off. Then you have this Cavs squad that's missing Sexton, Rubio, and Markkanen. And I know that they have depth, but it just feels to me like Nutflush might be nailing it here, regardless of how bad Milwaukee has, or not bad, but how Milwaukee's offense hasn't looked as strong on the road. Nutflush Allen says this is a spot where the Bucks want to show the Cavs, look, we are the team in this division, in this conference. Remember that. They want to send a message.
Yeah.
Do you think that is real? Do you think that is a part of this? I mean,
on Milwaukee's side, I mean, Milwaukee definitely wants to send a message, right? And I think they can do that, especially if you don't have Jared Allen playing. So now you got Markkanen and Allen out, which is a huge role as far as the bigs playing and as far as really setting up that defense to stop Giannis. So now you've got Love as a big that he could Giannis is not going to come out the paint, even on defense, right? So, I mean, who was that? Mobley going to stop Giannis? I this one here is just too many moving parts, and the numbers are flopped in the way I want to go. They're swapped rather. They're swapped. So, yeah, I don't know. This one here is, it's either you're going to take the Bucks first half, or you're going to take Cleveland or Bucks first quarter because of their body of work in the last 10.
And it looks like the Bucks have moved back to 4.
Yeah. So that probably means Jarrett might just get up.
Yeah. So it was 4.5, but it was only 4.5 for 30 minutes and right back to 4. Huh. This is very, very tricky. Saturated. Okay.
Yeah. I do know what doppelganger means. I apologize for using it the wrong way, asshole.
Whoa. That's our guy Puzzler. He just, he has
No, I'm giving Puzzler shit. But yes, Puzzler is correct. It should be Jekyll and Hyde, yeah. But yes. This Milwaukee, if they want to make a statement, this is the team to do it against, right? But if you look at that last game, I believe even when Cleveland got up, that 119, it was what, 119 to 109 or 106, that last game. Yeah, Milwaukee 90, Cleveland 119. I believe Giannis didn't play that game. Let me make sure. If I'm right, Giannis didn't. Yeah, Giannis didn't play that game. So now you add him in the mix. So it's weird.
I am with Michael Orvalinas. His 100 agree. Every big game Bucks have played, they balled out and stomped on teams. And I've been doing that at home for the Bucks this year, or at least on this run I've been on for the last couple of weeks. Whenever they have to send a message at home, like, against the Warriors or against a big team coming in, they do that. And then when the Kings come in, they lollygag around. So I'm going to Puzzler says he's even more annoying in person.
No. Puzzler's my guy. I'm giving Puzzler shit. Okay. I do. Okay.
I'm a first half full game believer in the Milwaukee Bucks here.
Yeah.
I am. So I think I'm going to move on that, and I like the 2 and the 4. I think I can work with that. Let's move on. 7 p.m. Charlotte Hornets 26-22, 13-15 on the road at Indiana Pacers 17-31, 12-12 at home. We're at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. Charlotte 3-2 over their past 5, 17th in pace at 97.80 possessions a game, while Indiana 2-3, 9th in pace at 98.94 possessions a game. Charlotte on the second half of a back-to-back did not look good yesterday against Delano Banton.
Yeah,
my new favorite player in the NBA. I'm gonna get a Banton jersey in no time. Let's move on to the market here in this Charlotte, Indiana spot. Charlotte opening up as 1.5 point dogs. This total going from 226 up to 228. Let's move over to the cash flow in this spot. 4,375 tickets in. 12% of the tickets on the Pacers, 19% of the cash. So do with that what you will. For the total, 62% of tickets on the over, 65% of cash on the over, and we've seen the market moving towards the over. So Charlotte had 4 3-pointers in their 113-91 loss to Atlanta. Then they go 10 for 31 against the Raptors. No Gordon Hayward, missed last 2 games with a sore foot. They're 3-0 against the Pacers this season. They've been close games, all single digits. One was a 1-point game, one was a 3-point game. Pacers coming off their second straight loss, 117-113 at the Pelicans on Monday. Dwayne Washington Jr. making a name for himself, 7 threes, the single game rookie record for in the Pelicans game, for the Pacers. A 21.16th career game. So he's moving in the right direction. And so that 5-game road trip was crazy. Like, the Pacers are a very difficult team to figure out right now.
I know.
Carlisle's using these smaller lineups, a small ball now, and so they're getting killed in the paint. They allowed 66 points in the paint to Phoenix, 64 in the paint to New Orleans. This is a very interesting spot. Can't wait to hear your breakdown. Hornets, Pacers, take it away.
So this is obviously, if you're looking at it on paper, this is obviously a Hornet spot here, right? It's got to be. It has most definitely got to be. No Sabonis, no Turner, and they've lost the previous 2 with Sabonis and Turner in. Now, when we first started the year, that's when we begin to talk about maybe Pacers really isn't a second half team. and how Charlotte is a second half team. I looked at these numbers, man, and I couldn't get an angle here as well. I think the Hornets are the better team right now, but I wonder if there's just some recency bias to how bad they lost against the Raptors yesterday and the fact that they don't have Gordon Hayward in. You lost PJ Washington early for his ejection. This one here, it's got to be a Hornet spot, but maybe I'm just afraid because I bet Charlotte yesterday. I took them first half and first quarter yesterday, and man, Toronto just smacked the shit out of them. And when you look at those numbers, also, the body of work that Charlotte's been doing over the last 10, I mean, they're like 8-2, man. It's like 8-2. So if I'm looking at a side here, it's going to definitely be Charlotte full game. I don't have a play on this game, though, because they just played yesterday. We got a lot of back-to-backs going, right? We got a lot of back-to-backs in the association, and it seems like it's one of these get-right games for Charlotte. So I got a heavy lean on Charlotte Hornets. I just didn't understand that even though you are on a back-to-back, the line being so low with everyone out. So you're expecting Karis LeVert to get up. I mean, you don't even have Brogdon in the game, right, to kind of control the pace. So this should be heavy guard play on Charlotte's side. This was another one where I didn't really understand the line. I thought it would be maybe a little larger. And honestly, you haven't seen that much movement, right? You haven't seen that much movement that would make this line get to 2 or 2.5. So the fact that you have Hornets on a back-to-back, but on the other side, you have Indy missing their key players. I mean, Turner played last game. Sabonis played that last game that they had played. I mean, these guys had played, man, and they still lost. So the obvious look is, yeah, Charlotte's going to smack them without their presence on the inside. But the line is really short, and I couldn't gauge it at all. So the obvious lane should be hit the Charlotte Hornets, right? The books is just giving you a game right now. Hit Charlotte Hornets, but it's for me, I just don't know how to go with it as well. I'm looking at Charlotte full game, could even be wire to wire here, because we've also talked about how as of late, this is the reason why I took them on yesterday. They've kind of stepped up the tempo and been covering those first quarter and first half spreads. So right now, I do like Charlotte, but I haven't made a play on it.
Like, I don't know what sorry, I hit the camera there. I don't know what Dutch's action is here in this spot, but it just feels like
Dutch is not touching the Pacers.
But this feels like a spot where he would not show fear backing the Hornets, even though I'd be sitting there going, how could it be 1.5? This is an angry group. Joe Yurkovich is making this his play of the day. And Joe Yurkovich says Charlotte 0-8 on back-to-back, and 4 of those went to overtime.
See, that's wild. That's wild. See, it's just funny. That's good stuff, Joe. That's really good stuff there. It is a back-to-back, and maybe that's why the line is so short, right? I mean,
but you have to think that Borrego will be hammering that into them.
You're right. You're right.
Back-to-backs, you just lost last night. Are we just going to sit here and be an average basketball team? Is that who you guys are? I'd love to give these speeches. Just open hand slap everybody in the room.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they'll take Coke before halftime. I don't know, man. But it's just this one here was kind of tricky. Joe's stat makes really good sense. I mean, you can dig deeper into that. I am nowhere in hell ever taking Pacers, right? I mean, they don't have a team. And then maybe how do you do that? Maybe that is the game plan or really coaching of James Borrego. How do you scout for these guys? Like, how do you scout? Right, you don't have any time to really scout. You just played yesterday, and you got some new guys coming in. So, I mean, you're going to play what? Duarte. You're going to play Karis, right? But then after that rotation, what happens, right? I don't know. I mean, you're going to play Lance, and that's scary when Lance is the one kind of carrying the team. But yeah, this one here is kind of crazy.
Huh. Oh, Bob, did I screw that up for with Providence in the Providence game? Sorry. Let me know if I screwed that up. I'll double check that. Back to this spot. How can Charlotte lose back-to-back? But it's very, very strange. There has been a 7 or 8 cent move towards the Hornets at Pinnacle.
There hasn't, or there has?
There has been an 8-cent move, but it hasn't moved, a point or half
Yeah.
point. Joe Yurkovich says Charlotte 0-8 is an anomaly. They've been competitive. Remember, Joe Yurkovich gave us that 0-8 on the back-to-backs, but also said that that's his play of the day is Charlotte.
That's his play of the day. Yeah. Yeah.
The last thing, I just told you that I want the Bucks, and the last thing I want to do is be sitting here with these slight road favorites because we know what your ROI will be in that situation. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to keep moving. Yes, good. There is news coming in about Taint. I'm going to drop Taint here at the end of the game. But yes, we have a college basketball Taint play of the day and news coming in from Matty Ice. He's going to have to step away a little bit from the show. I don't know what's going on. I tried to get more information, but he said he will be, maybe it's a work schedule change. I don't know, but he will be giving in Taint every day. So I will go over what the Taint play of the day is, and I'll find out more about that. All right, let's keep rolling. I don't want to sit here and hum and haw over whether or not I'm back to Hornets, but certainly we'll be doing that in my head. Next up, 7 p.m. Eastern, LA Clippers 24-25, 9-13 on the road at Orlando Magic, 9-39 at home, 3-17 at home, 3-17 at home. Amway Center, Orlando, Florida. Clippers 3-2 over the past 5, 14th and pace at 98.25. Or 98.25 possessions game. That comeback was just unbelievable.
Amazing.
Orlando 1-4, 7th in pace, 99.80 possessions a game. Those who missed that opening breakdown off the very top of the show, I only didn't lose money on the Wizards because it had moved from 3 to 4.5 by the time I was going to make the bet, and I'm just not going to chase a 1.5 line move, and that saved me. It saved me, and we should just never chase these line moves. Just let shit go and just let shit go. In the long run, it'll work in your advantage. Orlando opening up as 1-point favorites, and this total, and it hasn't moved at Pinnacle, and this total's gone from 212.5 to 213.5. 52% of the tickets on Orlando, 77% of the cash, 80% of tickets on the over, and 64% of cash. So big bets have come in on the under. Clippers are on the second half of the back-to-back after winning their second in 3 games, 116-115 at the Wizards last night. Down by 35 points before the half. Unbelievable. Second biggest comeback in NBA history. Kennard, 4-point play to pull it off. He goes for 25 points. Amir Coffey goes for 29. Magic snapped their 4-game losing streak with a 114-95 win at home over the Bulls on Sunday. And it's this opening starting 5. It's Wagner, Suggs, with Wendell Carter Jr., Mo Bamba, and Cole Anthony. 18 different starting lineups Mosley's had to use this year, but they're 5-11 with that young group, and it's looked good. You got Franz Wagner, and then you got Mo on the bench. Yeah, and no Hampton, and no Terrence Ross, no Gary Harris. And
I think they're in now. I think they're activated.
Because Terrence Ross had the knee injury, Gary Harris had the back spasms. I'm going to jump in and make sure that they are good to go. But why don't you take over now, Clippers Magic?
Yeah, man. I don't give a fuck about this game. I don't give 2 fucking shits about this fucking game. What are we doing? It's the Clippers in Orlando, bro. But I guarantee you this, man. This is going to be an Orlando spot if I haven't seen one. I honestly believe how Orlando has been playing as of late, right? And the fact that they're getting their guys, I'm more than sure Harris and Ross, Human Torch Ross is playing.
Yeah, they're both back.
Yeah. So, bro, where you got to look, honestly, is the first half. Right now in the last 3, I mean, Orlando is dead fucking last in first half points per game, averaging for the season 48. Do you know what they've been doing for the last 3? 57.3. 57.3 in the last 3. The Clippers, first half points per game, 51 points. 51 points is their average. So they're close to that dead last also, right? But you know what they're averaging over their last 3? 45.7, bro. So they're going down. These teams are going in opposite directions when it comes to what they're scoring in the first half. So if you're going to look at a play, just look at maybe Clippers to repeat what they did yesterday, right? They're not going to come off to a fast start. And I think Orlando, being the rested team, could run these boys, right? And then make them even more tired in the second half. So the lean for me would be Orlando, first half. I think that's the spot to. I think right now Orlando is the favorite, right? Orlando, it's now -1 for Orlando. So you could probably get that. You could probably get maybe Orlando, maybe give them the -1 at the half, right? Give Orlando -1 at the half for possibly some plus money. But I swear to God, bro, I swear to God, Orlando is going to get up. All these guys are activated, and this is a game that they can get up for. So I like Orlando first half, but man, we don't fucking play Orlando games nor Clipper games. Fuck them. So I don't have a play there, but the lean would be Orlando Magic first half.
Very, very, very tricky spot. Joe Yurkovich going over full game. I'm just going to move past this one at this point.
You can pass this shit.
Lots of big spots on the board. Very interesting one coming up next, 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Sacramento Kings 18-31, 6-15 on the road at Atlanta Hawks 21-25, 11-11 at home at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Sacramento 1-4 Viper. Viper knows I love bum fights, man. Always have. Always will. The female variety, mostly. Sacramento 1-4 of their past 5, second in pace, 101.70 possessions a game. Atlanta 4-1 over their past 5, 17th in pace, 97.80 possessions a game. God, Sacramento looked terrible. That was the spot where the market kept me off of betting Sacramento. There was a ton of money on Boston. It moved from 8.5 to 9.5.
Yeah,
and I found it peculiar and stayed off of it, and Sacramento looked terrible. Atlanta opening up as 8.5-point favorites, now 9.5-point favorites. I mean, you got to expect some sort of a bounce back, don't you? I mean, Gentry's got to get something out of these guys. 128-75 losers last night, and they didn't play a lot of guys. No one played more than 30 minutes. Gentry put all 13 guys in the lineup, but Buddy Hield led the Kings with 11 points. Second straight game without Darren Fox, dealing with a sore left ankle.
Yeah.
And he, at this point, he hasn't been ruled out as far, but when I was capping the show this morning, I don't know if that's changed now, where it's 10 to 1 p.m. out east. Hawks coming off their 4th straight win, 113-91 at the Hornets on Sunday. Trae Young is rolling. They lost 5 straight before this 4-game winning streak, but he's rolling right now, averaging 31.3 points per game. Capella and Gallinari back, and Bogdanovic could return tonight. Take it away here, Darryl. Kings, Hawks.
Yeah, so this one here actually is going to depend on Fox. I'm more than certain, man, the brother don't play, dog. You can't play like that on a bad ankle. Not like that. So the side here is looking at how well and body of work that Atlanta's been putting up. For a minute, I wasn't convinced, right? They go in, they beat Milwaukee on the Kings anniversary, right? And it just seems like they've kept the momentum since MLK game. They beat some good teams at that too. You look at the teams they beat. You beat Milwaukee, you beat Boston, you beat Houston, I'm sorry, you beat Charlotte, Miami, Minnesota, Milwaukee. Minnesota was actually surging for a quick second. You were making money off them on first halves and first quarters, right? They beat some good teams. Out of the 4 teams they beat just recently, where they've even covered the spread, Sacramento is the worst fucking team. The worst team. Now, I think this line is 9.5 now, right? But where they do get it going is their first half spread here. So I'm making that official. I'm taking Atlanta -5.5 first half. It looks like right now they're scoring more points. Right now on their first half points, they're scoring more. Atlanta actually taking 58.7 in their last 3. And Sacramento is having 51 or scoring 51 in their last 3. The funny thing was their opponent's points. Atlanta is giving you 56 points per game in their last 3. And I believe Sacramento is 63 points. So they're going in different directions also. So I do like the Hawks -5.5 first half. I would have stepped on full game. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of the full game. And actually the full game would seem like it would make more sense, especially because Sacramento's off their back-to-back, right? They're off their back-to-back. So I do like Atlanta -5.5 first half. That's the play I made earlier today. I like that.
Well, let's lock you in with that. You're getting a -5.5 first half. My feeling is that Sacramento's got to come out of the gate strong. Has to. And
How?
Just just off the anger and embarrassment of last night.
They're not going to do it against Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta's at home. And like I said, if anything, you would have thought Milwaukee did the same thing. Remember, Milwaukee came off their embarrassing loss to Toronto the game before. Remember? And then you come back and you play Atlanta on MLK Day, and that was Atlanta's first win since their homestand, right? They 11 straight home losses. So motivation, I think Atlanta is very motivated, starting to carry this momentum and really get some wins under their belt. It would be more embarrassing for Atlanta to lose this game, in my opinion, based upon the last two squads they faced. So I do like Atlanta first half.
Dan Kelly's action is in, sitting at 47 and 38 on the show. 55.3% is the Dan Kelly spots here. We have a couple things here just to splice up the energy. First off, Dan Kelly's action is in. He starts with the Clippers team total under 106.5. He's also on Brooklyn +2 and Portland +7. We need to add DS to plays of the day and probably cut maybe 4. I love it. I absolutely love it. Shout out to Dan Kelly. Also, there is big news here with us, and you made a wager with Jose Bouquet.
Yeah, I wasn't going to rub it in.
No, and you're a good man. We like to do that personally. We like to rub it in here. We like to do that. So we got great news, Darryl. Welcome to the party.
Everybody in the audience, now listen to me carefully, is being given a special package, and I don't want you to open it. Do not open it. Cameras are on you, so do not open until I tell you. All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
You get a steak, you get a steak, you get a steak, you get a steak, you get a steak. Everybody gets a steak.
All right, let's roll in. Come into San Antonio. Stakes on Jose. Stakes on Jose. All right, let's keep rolling here. Next up, we have Darryl's first action here is Hawks first half -5.5 at -106. That's available at Pinnacle. But we move on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. New York Knicks 23-25, 11-11 on the road at Miami Heat, 30-17, 16-5 at home at FTX Arena, Miami, Florida. New York 1-4 over their past 5, 28th in pace at 94.5 possessions in the game. Exact same pace that Miami's running at. Miami 3-2 over that 5-game period. We have the Heat opening up at -6. They're now -5.5 at Pinnacle. I took a close look at the Heat at -6 and decided that I wasn't sure. This total opening up at 204 is now at 203 at Pinnacle and 202.5 at other books. Both teams playing a slow pace, and that's a very low total. Let's see where the cash lies in this spot. This is a beauty. Anytime the Knicks play the Heat, we remember the good old days. We remember how hard these two teams played each other. 6,027 tickets in, 80. Oh, sorry, that's the Memphis game. My fault. 5,913 tickets in, 79% of the tickets and 96% of the cash on the Heat, and a half-point move to the Knicks. Confusing. Then you have 12% of tickets on the under and 35% of cash on the under. Another very interesting idea there that. And something that nobody knows does. He loves going under low totals, and this is a very low total. Very low. Total.
Yeah.
Knicks coming off their 4th loss of 5 games, 95-93 at the Cavs on Monday. So no Mitchell Robinson and no Derrick Rose, both right ankle injuries. And their big studs, Randall and Barrett, are just not performing like they did last year.
Are we sure about Mitchell Robinson? I think Mitchell's playing also.
Okay, that's big. So let's double check that. And if anybody is surprised that Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier aren't playing good ball together, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Who's
Kemba
managing?
Come on.
Oh, God. So the Heat have won 3 of 4. They come in off a 113-107 win at home over Lakers on Sunday. So here's the stat where I almost pulled the trigger and I stopped. And it's good that I stopped. But the Heat are 8-0 this year when getting at least 2 days of rest. 8-0.
Mm-hmm.
Heat, no Kyle Lowry for personal reasons. Tyler Hero on COVID protocol, missed multiple games. And he is in. He's expected to play. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
and we have Sacramento plus 10 also coming in here for Dan Kelly. Sacramento plus 10. I'm going to copy and paste that, get that in. But take it away here. This is a fun one, Knicks Heat.
If you're going to take the Heat, just take them early. They score so much better in the first half than they do in the second half. Looking at their points right now, first half points, and I'm really starting. I'll say this, Jimmy. I really start to look at. I'm a first quarter, first half type of guy, right? Because I don't know. You know that there's going to be a game plan. You know, there's sets and actions that are ran, right? But then I really can't get a good read on how adjustments are made and if they can follow through with those adjustments. So it seems like I have a lot of faith in first half and first quarter. The problem with these first half, first quarter bets, specifically first quarter, is you're putting your money on 12 minutes of ball, right? And anything could happen. So many things could happen within that 12 minutes that I think it's a greater risk at times. Me personally, I believe Miami can come out here and smack the shit out of them first half. What they've been doing, they put up 70 points in their last game. They put up 59. They're averaging that in their last 3. In New York, not so much. I mean, Miami already averages more points for the season than what they have averaged. New York has averaged. And New York has gone substantially. Not substantially. They pretty much average the same. So Miami is going at a higher clip, averaging now in the last 3, 59 points, while New York is still staying baseline at 52. So I do like the Heat first half here. And looking just at the opponents that they've played, New York played New Orleans and lost, right? So we know that these teams can get into a dogfight. The Clippers, they beat them, but that was kind of a dogfight as well. And then you do lose to a low-scoring game in Cleveland by 2 points. So these are some teams where they really had to grit and grind and fight, and they just still wound up losing. And Miami, man, quietly, first in the East. First in the East. Why I didn't make this one of the most, I don't give a fucking shit with the spread is games, is because you don't have Hero, who I don't know if he's in. He's questionable with his illness, right? We still don't know what's going on with Kyle Lowry, and we finally got an APB back on Markieff. And, you know, he's starting to condition now. But the lean here and the look here is definitely Miami Heat first half because of the body of work that they've been doing as of lately. And I think this number is low enough to where you can step on Heat in the first half. Knicks will come back and try to grime it out in the third quarter, and then you got a dogfight in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that breakdown all makes sense to me, and I'm not comfortable pulling the trigger at this point and can understand the half-point move and the public all over the Heat. It's tricky.
Yeah.
Let's keep rolling. We have one official look right now for Darryl. We got 2 spots, and I'm close to moving on, but they're road favorites, and we're going to talk everything out. Let's keep rolling. 8 p.m. Eastern, Denver Nuggets 25-21, 12-12 on the road. Brooklyn Nets 29-18, 12-12 at home. We're at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Denver 3-2 over their past 5, 11th in pace at 98.74 possessions a game. Brooklyn 3-2, 20th in pace at 97.60 possessions a game. Denver opening up at -2. There's been no movement. That's where they stand right now. The total's gone up a half point at Pinnacle from 221 to 221.5. When we go over to the cash flow in this spot, we see, where is it? There we go. There's something wrong with the ticket count here. So we're going to go blind with the ticket count for that one. And that's the first time I've ever seen Sports Insights have a ticket count issue there. So let's go. Nuggets on the second half of a back-to-back after winning their second straight game, and 3rd and 4, 110-105 at the Pistons in Detroit last night. And we were on the Pistons, plus 7.5. Dan Kelly was on the Pistons. Wham Bam was on the Pistons. And Ski Profit came in and gave us the Pistons in the chat. And it was very, very noticeable that we cashed that bet because the Nuggets were on the second half of a back-to-back. They were clearly resting players in the fourth and not needing any urgency, not putting out any urgency, knowing that they had another game today. And I think that I need to take a closer look at when we take the big dogs against teams, if they're on the first half of back-to-back, it really helps the fourth quarter comeback. It really, really does. And that's why we cashed last night. Jokic rolling, man. 28 points, 21 boards, 9 assists, 4 triple dubs over his past 6 games. And Denver's offense is rolling too, 118.3 points per game over those 6 games. Brooklyn on the second half of a back-to-back, losing their second straight game, 106-96 at home versus the Lakers last night. We cashed that under very easily. We got it at 227 on the show by an hour before the tip-off. It was 224.5. It kept dropping. Yeah. Nets are 6-9 over the past 15, 2-7 over the past 9 games. I mean, they do not look good right now. They shot 42% last night against the Lakers, 19 turnovers. Harden goes for a triple-dub, 33, 12, and 11. And we all see that Dan Kelly's on the Brooklyn Nets +2 to bounce back against the Denver Nuggets team on the second half of a back-to-back. Take it away here, Darryl. Nuggets, Nets.
I don't give a fuck about this game, man. I really don't. And this is the reason why. Brooklyn, what is going on with Brooklyn, right? That says a lot to make them home dogs, but that's just telling you how not confident either the books are, nor anyone for that matter, with Durant not in the game. Now, Harden, you've seen some reports. I think it was Shams Charania was talking about how Harden's kind of getting fed up, right? They're kind of getting fed up here. He's getting fed up. He doesn't like that Kyrie's in and out. We talked about that mentality that Brooklyn may have to where how do you make those adjustments? He's in, and then he's out. He's in, he's out. He's in, he's out. Nick Claxton isn't going to be anything for Joker. This has got to be a Joker prop day. I mean, Joker put up 28 points and 21 boards yesterday. Nick Claxton is no match for Joker here. So I would look at Joker's props. I think Brooklyn can bounce back. They did have a great record. They did have a great record with how they played after a loss. The problem is that was with Durantula, and you don't have that here. They are neck and neck in first half points scored. Denver is averaging for the season 57.9, and Brooklyn is averaging 57.6. The last 3 average, though. The last 3 average. Denver's put up 64 points. Average in the first half. So if you're looking at this game, I saw it all the way down to a pick 'em, right? And then there's just money's just steaming in on Denver here. I believe Denver can get it done. It's just I don't want to play this game because this could be a get right game for Brooklyn. It could be a get right game for Brooklyn. And Denver off a back-to-back. I would love to see what their stats are. I didn't dig too deep in it because I'm like, I'm not playing this fucking game. I don't care about this game.
I get it. I absolutely get it. It's a tricky spot, and I love that Dan is not afraid and backing Brooklyn here.
Yeah, yeah. Home dogs. I mean, yeah, bro. I mean, when this was a pick, I'm like, okay, this is Brooklyn, right? But Brooklyn just lost to LA last night. Now, for whatever it's worth, you have AD in, and it's a completely different team when AD is in there. I mean, just the whole energy of that team changes, right? And then you don't have Durantula, and you're making Harden do everything on his own. If Claxton had a problem with AD, he is going to have major problems with Joker. So you either, and I don't knock Dan, and this is the reason why I was like, I don't give a shit about this game, is because Brooklyn can get up 4 games and play and either, win them outright. I mean, they still have that record, but that was with Durant playing, and now he's not. So these teams are top 2 in first half scoring, bottom line. So, I mean, 221 seems like a low number, but if anything, look at what their first half totals are, look at their team totals, and look at Joker's props.
Very, very, very interesting. Well, let's keep rolling right now. Next up, Toronto Raptors 23-22, 10-10 on the road at Chicago Bulls 29-17, 16-6 at home. United Center, Chicago, Illinois. We're looking at houses right now to rent and trying to get the family out of this apartment in Parkdale. And so we were looking at a house. It didn't work for us, but we were looking at a house on the east end of town, and I was listening to the Raptors game, and I was just fucking loving every second of it. My girl, she was talking to me, and I didn't hear a word she said. I didn't, not one fucking word. All I heard was the Raptors fucking rolling, and Delano Banton being everything that I wanted to be. And 5 guys at 6'8". I miss Ken Birch. You know, I'm a big Birch guy, but I just just loving every second of it. You take Scotty Barnes and Van Fleet out of our lineup, and we just kept coming at you. It felt so good. It just felt so good. And God, like, just minutes are flying by, and she's just fucking being, I just having the time of my life. Toronto 2-3 over their past 5, 25th in pace, 95.80 possessions a game. Chicago 2-3, 8th in pace, 99.50 possessions a game. Let's go here. We have Toronto opening up as 4-point dogs. That's the case right now. There's been a 5-cent move towards them at Pinnacle. This total is open at 219. It's 219 right now, 219.5. And then from a cash flow standpoint in this spot, we have 8,044 tickets in, 52% of the tickets and 74% of the cash on the Bulls. And I get that. I get that after the Raps looked so good last night. And then you have this Bulls team with Levine, Kobe White back playing together in the backcourt.
Whoa, Jimmy. The fuck you mean Kobe White? I mean, come on. I mean, it's more Zach, Vooch, and DeMar, right? I mean, come on, Kobe.
Look,
I mean, okay, fair, fine.
They're dealing with injuries at the one, and he's become a really important piece. He's going to be a huge piece. But I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Bulls snapped their 2-game losing streak with a pretty ugly 111-110 win at the Thunder on Monday. Raptors, though, second half back-to-back, 125-113 last night. Gary Trent came back, season high 32. Pascal Siakam got cashed. Sorry, I don't mean a lot, but cashes the assist prop by 6.5. That girl is hitting a 24, 12, and 9. And Trent had scored just 13 points in the first 2 games back from that 6-game absence. But last night it was a Gary Trent show, much to the happiness of my Top Shot collection. Take it away here, Darryl. Raptors, Bulls.
Okay, so what did the Raptors do last night that was so good? I tried to understand what was going on. And the reason why is it really wasn't the worst shooting night from Charlotte, right? I mean, you look at their shooting, they were 49 from the field, 32 from the arc, so maybe had some problems there, and then 72 from the nail. Toronto, 52 from the field, 47 from the arc, and 79 from the nail. Is Chicago going to shoot that bad from the arc? Probably so. You know? But Toronto's off a back-to-back. And I need to know what's going on with Scotty Barnes. I need to know what's going on with the is Scotty Barnes out for sure this game?
He's dealing with an inflamed wrist that kind of caught us all by surprise. Let's see if I can get some of the last minute information.
And then Van Vliet, is he? I mean, I know it's his knee, but are they out for sure, or does anybody have any news, or are we still GTD here?
No, we don't know.
Oh, I just saw something with Scotty Barnes.
We did not expect Barnes not to be in the lineup. That was a shock.
Okay, he's questionable. Okay, so here's the thing. What are you looking at? Because he put up 12 yesterday, I think I'm almost stuck here. What are you looking at Siakam's assists? I'm just curious.
Oh, no.
I'm just curious. I know. I'm just curious.
You're capping so well right now, and you got this. All right, let's give you.
What is piss at?
Oh no, they're not. They're not dropping any player props right now.
Yeah. See, okay, good. I just saw the same thing, and I'm wondering. They're doing that because I think if Scotty Barnes and Van Vliet don't play, then they're going to boost up his assists, right? They're going to do that. If they are playing, then they're probably going to give you that 5.5. I don't know. But all in all, this is a game that seems like it should be Toronto's side. They should at least be competitive here. But this is a game I don't want any smoke in at all, because Chicago can come up and get it done as well. Levine has came back to pretty decent form. I like the way he's playing. So yeah, I'm cool on this game for now. But I would love to see if Scotty Barnes and Van Vliet are playing before I made a move on the game.
It feels to me like Dan looking at a fourth quarter over. Is that an official spot, Dan, for our tracking of you? Let me know. It feels like the Raptors come crashing back to earth here.
Right.
The Bulls have given us no indication that they should be trusted.
Very true. Very true. And the thing is this, you play at home to your advantage because there's no fans. Then you get on a plane, you travel to Chi, right, where United Center can get kind of rowdy, right? So they could get rattled here. I just liked how well Toronto played yesterday. And they did it without Van Vliet or Scotty Barnes. So you put these guys back in the mix. I don't know. Look at some props here. But this is a game I didn't want any smoke in at all.
I completely get that. Let's roll on here to the next spot on the board. I was wondering if I wanted to move on that, and I'm not going to move on that. Let's move on to Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is on the Memphis Grizzlies. So we have the Memphis Grizzlies in effect, and Ron Crawford moving on these Memphis Grizzlies. Shout out to Ron Crawford. And we are adding that look for Dan Kelly on the fourth quarter over 52.5 in Toronto. Chicago, Memphis Grizzlies 32-17, 15-8 on the road at Spurs, 18-39 and 15 at home. AT&T Center, San Antonio, Texas, Memphis, and San Antonio, each 2-3 over their past 5. Memphis, though, playing with the fastest pace in the league, 102.10, while the Spurs 13th in pace at 98.50 possessions a game. Let's see what we are dealing with here. We have Memphis opening up at -4. It was 4.5 was available for me to bet earlier, and I took a long look at it. The total opened up at 228.5. It's gone up a half point to 229. Let's go over to the cash here. We have 6,279 tickets in, and 89% of the tickets, 92% of the cash on the Grizzlies, and we don't really see the market moving towards them. It does say that Pinnacle has moved it to 4.5, so that move happened at 10:40 a.m. So I guess that's a good sign. I guess that's what we're looking for. If you want to back the Grizzlies, which I came very close to doing. From a total standpoint here, we have 53% of the tickets on the over, 67% of cash on the over. Grizz coming off their second loss in 3 games, 104-91 at Dallas on Sunday. Bane back. Are they ready to heat up right now? Yeah. Is this a good spot for them, for us to attack? I can't wait to cap this game. Spurs on the second half of back-to-back after destroying the Rockets 134-104 last night in Houston. 8 Spurs go for at least 12. I mean, they just looked good. Now, Pop really didn't have to force the issue. What DeWanta played 24 minutes, went for 19 and 10. Total didn't play in the fourth quarter. They had everything rolling. Keldon 16, McBuckets 15, Trey Jones 14, Eubanks 13, Thaddeus Young, Vassell 12 each. And I lost on the under, which I thought I was going to cash until pretty late in the game. San Antonio went 57.4% from the field, 82 points in the paint. I mean, I just wonder if I feel like, do we trust the Raptors and the Spurs to show us what they showed us last night on the second half of a back-to-back, or should we fade them and not trust it? And I can't wait to hear your breakdown. Take it away, my man.
You ready for this? Give me Memphis. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. Give me Memphis. I don't give a motherfucking shit what the spread is. They're going to get it done tonight. I think it's going to be a little tough for them, though. I do believe that. The numbers that San Antonio is putting up in the first half and first quarter is actually better than Memphis, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if Memphis loses the first half and loses the first quarter and have to fight. I honestly believe that the game is going to be a lot closer in the first half, but because of that second half, Memphis is going to keep that pace up and they're going to be able to explode in the second half, right? So that's where it is. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is here. I like Memphis full game. I took that at -4. I promise you, I think if anything, this line's probably gonna maybe get to 5 or maybe 5. I know Bovada has it at 4.5 now. It's just one of those things to where I think Memphis can get it done. 4-0 ATS in their last 4 games versus a team with a losing record straight up. 4-0 ATS in their last 4 games following an ATS loss, 3-0 in the last 4 games following a straight up loss. These guys don't like to lose back-to-backs, right? And Grizzlies is still fighting to try to get, a pretty decent record. I believe they're third or fourth. They're third. So they're still trying to stay on top with Phoenix Suns, who won, and Golden State, who just won against Dallas. So one of these games is a get right game, in my opinion, for Memphis. If you put Desmond Bane in the mix, I don't know if I do. Everybody's professional, so I would consider Desmond Bane being a star player. I mean, that's just my own opinion, right? Everybody who starts on an NBA team can be a star player. Do we fade the team when the star player comes back? It is health and safety. I mean, do you need a couple of days to get your lungs back? I don't know. But I just think Memphis is too good of a team to not come out here and just smack the shit out of them. I honestly do. They don't play any defense. They have played before. It was the 31st. Memphis got them 118 and 105. 113 or 118 to 105. They keep winning. I mean, Memphis has beat them all last year, right? Starting from last season. So I just think it's one of those things right now to me where Memphis, coming off a loss, wants to make sure they get right back in the W column. I was going to take them first half, but San Antonio was actually really good first half. And so if you look at how the game, the state game with the Lakers kind of played out, they turned it around second half, right? And this is one of those games to where if it stays close, bro, Memphis will exploit them second half of them coming off a back-to-back. Give me Memphis. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is.
IDGAFWTSI. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is. Play the day. We're going to need that graphic, Jose. So get to work on that.
Last two have just infuriated me now. Darryl, if I was not producing and a guest on the NFL Pub Hub tonight, I would go to this game, bet a stake on it, and fucking cheer on the Spurs. Root on to beat the Grizzlies tonight. Dirt cheap tickets. You're lucky, Darryl.
Hey, I'm telling you now, Dennis is your fan. Dennis kind of clowned me, man. In a way, he kind of clowned me on that Laker game at first, right? Because Lakers just looked terrible, right?
Well, of course.
And what did he say? Everybody knew not to bet on Lakers -5 this game, and turn it around, bro. Right? It's just something you kind of got to get a feel for. So I ain't mad at you, Dennis. Nothing is guaranteed, right? Nothing is guaranteed. So this is just one of those games that I already took Memphis at -4. It was at -3.5 yesterday. Could have jumped on it yesterday, Jose, but I do like Memphis here in this position after a loss. So I can take 2 stakes if you want to go on.
I don't.
Okay.
Okay. All right. By the way, our guy Big Ragu in the chat. Big Ragu, our man, he has recovered from COVID, which makes us so happy. He's going to be on NFL Pub Hub tonight, and we didn't get him in the divisional round. In the wild card round, he went 9-1 plus 8.05 units. So we have Big Ragu back in action here.
Yeah, I think I did see that. Yeah.
And Dan Kelly has added the over in this spot. He has added the over. Very, 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 very interesting, and a lot of food for thought. Okay, let's keep rolling. We have 2 games left. 10 p.m. Eastern. Phoenix Suns 37-9, 18-4 on the road at Utah Jazz. 30-18, 15-9 at home. Vivint Arena in Salt Lake City, Utah. This is a game that becomes confusing with the injury situation for both of these teams. I mean, we're talking. We have new information on Ayton and McGee, so it'd be nice to know if there's a chance these guys could return here. Ayton's already been ruled out. I mean, we're getting into a situation where it's only Bismack Biyombo as their only big. I mean, right now they're just tons and tons of injuries, too many injuries. And then we have the same thing in Utah. We have no Gobert for the bigs to worry about. Conley will be playing tonight, but no Mitchell. So this game becomes convoluted with all of the injury issues that we are dealing with. And Turnsey says COVID's still kicking my ass. Hate hearing that, Turnsey.
Man.
I wake up as if I just got off a flight or something in the morning. I'm so tired when I wake up in the morning. That's about the only thing that's. I still got a cough, but whatever. So Suns Jazz. Let's go to work. This Suns team is rolling yet again, and I looked at this -2, and probably like a lot of you, I thought, oh well, we got to move on. And I was like, wait a minute, let's just tap the brakes.
Yep.
And drive slow, homie. This total of 224.5 down to 223.5. And then from a cash side of things, we have 76. Oh, sorry, that's Portland, Dallas. Excuse me. 68% of the tickets on the Suns and 89% of the cash. So big bets coming in on Suns.
Yeah, but then look at the number. Look at the number.
It's not moving.
As a matter of fact,
65% of tickets and 90% of cash on the over. Tricky. So Suns coming off their 7th straight win, 115-109 over these Utah Jazz at home on Monday night. And so many injuries. Can't wait to hear this breakdown. Take it away, Darryl, my guy.
So this is another one, like with the Pacers. Suns, I think this is a game, honestly, man, that they can lose. It's weird. I don't have any play in this game, so I'll tell you that right off the bat. And the reason why was because the spread was so short. And now the line has moved down even more. It's moved down. I see a +1.5 Utah Jazz, right? So what's going on the Phoenix side to where you have the shortest spread possible? I mean, this is a thing that could happen. And this is probably what happened last game. When Utah and Phoenix just played, 2 nights ago, everybody went out for Utah. So this comes down to coaching, right? Now, how do you scout for players that you don't even know who's playing? They come out and they win that game, but they lose the spread. That spread was as high as 11 points. I got it at 10, right? That number kept climbing throughout the day. It was at 9, 9.5, 10, 10.5, 11. Then it went back to 10. And I thought that'd be a game the Suns would just completely expose Utah because they literally had no one playing, right? And so now we come back to this game, in which now you've had a chance to probably scout the guys that are going to play those set pieces. You don't have anybody that's worth the damn really for Utah who's going to play. Rudy Gay might have a game, right? Rudy Gobert is out. Mitchell is still out. Ingles is questionable. Maybe he comes back. Royce O'Neal was out that game, but maybe he comes back this game. I just honestly think that Utah could get this game. But my only look would be the Phoenix Suns here. That would still be my only look. Because even though Utah wins games, they don't cover spreads. They don't cover spreads at all. So it was one of those games to me to where it could go either way. And I just didn't want any action in this. So I'm like, pass. I don't give a shit about this game. So I'm not going to play it.
It's a tricky game when you have all these injuries. And basically you have to take a look at the roster, who's going to be starting, who's going to be coming off the bench. And then once you feel very comfortable with those players, then you have to cap the game. And it takes a lot of time and energy here. Yeah. Let's move on to the final game on the card here, and then we'll review action. 10 p.m. Eastern, Dallas Mavericks 27-20, 12-11 on the road. The Portland Trail Blazers 20-26, 14-11 at home. Both teams on the second half of a back-to-back. One team looked okay. Another team got absolutely destroyed. Dallas 3-2 over their past 5, 17th in pace at 97.8 possessions game, while Portland also 3-2, but 12th in pace, a little bit faster at 98.60 possessions a game. Mm-hmm. We have Dallas opening up at 4.5. We have a 4 at Pinnacle, a 3.5 at Sports Interaction. This total opening up at 216.5. We see 2 16s, 2 16.5s, and 2 17s on the board, so the market not all on the same page here. When we go over to the cash flow here, 76% of tickets, 83% of cash on Dallas, and the market moving towards Portland. Yeah, and we've seen this in the Miami Heat New York Knicks game. We've seen this in a couple different spots here on the board. Very, very, very strange. Then we have a coin flip, a real coin flip on the total. 52% of tickets on the over, 50-50 in cash. Mavs lost 130-92 last night at the Warriors. The over hit, and I was concerned with the 5th game of a 7-game homestand. I was concerned because we had a lot of guys back in the Mavs. I was concerned that these Warriors would shoot the lights out because they had not looked good, and they get that consistency and continuity of a long homestand. But look, I didn't have the balls to take the Warriors and go on the other side. I just sat back and just like a fucking dummy just watched with my mouth agape. Blazers are on the second half of a home back-to-back.
Yeah.
Which is a point here, but
Yeah.
the Mavs got destroyed and must step up. But then, can you comfortably bet a Mavs back-to-back? It was like betting a Brooklyn Nets back-to-back when Durant was playing. Did you expect this full lineup to be ready to go? We know that Hardaway broke his foot.
Yeah.
Take it away here. This is very, very, very interesting. And Lamont Williams quickly has come in with his max bet. Florida State full game under 136.5 for our guy, Lamont Williams. Take it away here, Darryl.
Yeah, man. I honestly think this is a Portland side. I think they're going to fight this game. How they've been playing as of late has been pretty decent, actually, right? If Anthony Simons doesn't goaltend, we possibly have a game going in overtime. They possibly could have won that game. And that was a game they were supposed to lose. They covered that spread. It was at -3, right? I do believe that Portland can get up for this game and outright win this game, to be honest. And it's just based upon their most recent body of work. That's all. Dallas is a great team, but you lost a great player in THJ. I really do. They lost to Golden State. They beat Memphis. They lost to Phoenix, and, they beat Toronto. Those are some heavy teams. But Portland, as bad as they've been, they lost to Minnesota, but they also beat Toronto. They beat Boston and lost to Miami. So they've played some pretty heavy teams. Dallas, probably like an hour flight. So it wasn't that much travel, right? You go from Golden State to Portland, right? That's probably like an hour flight, hour and a half flight or so on a plane. So you're not doing that much travel. But at the same token, it's Portland. They're at home. They should have won last night. And this is probably a game that they can get right for. I don't think this is a blowout by chance at all. So my lean here is Portland. I do believe Portland can come out and win this game outright. I do like the points. So Portland should be the play. I do like Portland full game, but I'm just waiting to see exactly what this number is doing, because this is also tricky. This one's tricky as well. So my lean here is Portland. I do believe they can win the game outright and, at least avenge that loss that they got yesterday.
I absolutely get it. Absolutely get it. And the market would lead you towards that. I just don't mess with situations when a team loses by 30 plus. And I just expect a bounce back. I mean, I expect a bounce back from the Sacramento Kings. And you're, backing the Hawks first half. And I get it. I get it from a player personnel standpoint, but I just feel like these teams will bounce back. And I expect Sacramento to be to be tough in the first quarter. And I'm not saying I'm going to move on them at this point, but I do expect them to be tough in the first quarter. All right, let's review all action right now. We have Dan Kelly on Memphis, San Antonio over 230 at plus 101. Fourth quarter, Toronto, Chicago over 52.5. Sacramento plus 10. Chargers team total under 106.5. Brooklyn plus 2. Portland plus 4. We got Mills in the house. I'd be curious to see. I mean, he says Sacramento Kings is the best, worst team in the NBA. Let's go Kings. He says my Kings suck, but I wonder if you like them as well here in this spot to at least show something. I mean, I don't know. It was just so awful. I like the Bucks. I think the Bucks have a statement situation here in Cleveland, and with the injuries that Cleveland's handling so well, I'm very close to moving on first half full game, and I think that the Hornets bounce back. Do I want to sit here with light road favorites on my card when we're on such a big run? I don't know, and I'm going to figure that out and then make the bets and tweet it out when the show's over. But at this point, that's the only spots I'm on unless I add the Kings first quarter. And then if I add the Kings first quarter, I think that the Mavericks first quarter would be a look as well. I really do. But then I like your breakdown on how heartbreaking the Blazers, how heartbreaking a loss that was with the signing play. And maybe they're chomping at the bit as well. So I'm a little hasty. Lit Pick says Kings a 1 loss in their last 10 against the spread first quarter. So that would have been last night. Is that, or are you saying 1 in 10? Can you hit me with that again, Lit Picks? I'll be keeping an eye out for it.
I got a question for it to see if you could find it. Oh, I'm sorry, Jimmy. Go ahead.
No, Dan saying wait to see what's up with Allen. And you made that point as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're saying that if Allen's in, you would not make that move because there's only Portis and he doesn't really have a backup at the 5?
Yeah, well, I mean, at that point, if Allen was in, I would possibly like Cleveland more because they can build the wall against Giannis. That Milwaukee game and Cleveland game is very, very tricky because, like I said, the numbers are actually swapped right now and what they've been doing as of late in their body of work. But I do like Cleveland to have a better advantage if Jared Allen's playing, because you already have Markkanen out, right? So that's honestly too many moving parts for me to even make a confident play. But that's why I'm off the game altogether.
Yeah, that was my bad. Not flush. I meant to do it, and I wrote it down. And I still didn't do that. I apologize. Oh, sorry. So the Kings are 1-9 last 10 against the spread in the first quarter. Okay, thanks, Lepex. Well, that will have me hesitating. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, that's brutal. That's why I like. That's why. Oof. I would love the first half. That's why I like that Hawks first half.
And there is Uncle Oliver. I like his look. Clippers money line, Blazers money line, Nets money line going for a score. That makes sense to me. JC Alvarez, we've missed you, my man. Okay, so Darryl gets his card started with the Grizzlies. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is, -4. And Dan seems very confident on that over. And I didn't mean to say gets it started because you have the Hawks first half -5.5. So
yes, quick question for you.
Yes,
because I'm going to make this an official play if you've got a number for it as well. Sure. Right now, what I've played are Hawks first half at -5.5 and Memphis full game -4. It might be 4.5 now. What is the number? What is the number for in the Memphis game first to score a basket? What is Memphis's number on that?
Let me take a look right now for first basket for the who gets it.
Yeah, Memphis to score first basket. What is that number?
This might take me a second.
If anybody has it, I will pull the trigger. I don't see it here yet. I don't have it on my end.
I think I'll have it. I don't have it yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to keep looking. I'll probably find it. Maybe someone in the chat has it. Jacksonville Zoe, thanks for rolling with us. Can't wait to rock with you tonight. Don't take me out like that. Okay. Yeah, Dan has a question because it is random. It says, why do you like that?
Because of Steven Adams. I believe there was a record for quite a long time that Steven Adams had not lost one jump ball. He had not lost one jump ball, right? So I'm just curious to see how juiced that number is, because Memphis, this was in the beginning of the year, but I think, playing against San Antonio, now we got Jakob Poeltl, right? But Steven Adams had not lost any jump balls. So, Dan, if you're look at what Memphis has done as a body of work in the first bucket scored. But yeah, Steven Adams has won every jump ball when he was in, and this was earlier in the year. It could be different now, but yeah, that was something that was kind of trending.
Wow, Mike M says because it's -140.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild.
Okay, I see that's too juiced. I don't want to give that out but I'm going to tell you now, I'm more than sure that's going to hit. Memphis to score the bucket first because Steven Adams does not lose jump balls. Just a little tidbit for y'all.
Well, we're going to do another quick review here, but when you start winning, you start thinking sharper. When you start losing, you start reaching, you start taking bigger risks.
Yeah.
We have Darryl coming off a 10-0 week on sides and totals, and he's made 2 moves here, and I respect it. He's on the Grizzlies -4 and the Hawks first half -5.5. And Dan Kelly says Ja is +480 to make the first basket.
And
Cashman loving, you know what? Those were absolutely gorgeous. Cashman giving you a shout out for the you didn't pull the trigger on Clippers first quarter, but you got all of us on it and myself.
Yeah.
And that Portland first quarter was just another thing of absolute okay. So
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Oh, it was good. You're on one right now, and you're running hot, and you're being very selective, and we love it and respect it. Yeah, Stack Wap 10-0 on sides and totals. It was unbelievable. Okay, so Darryl, my guy, you'll be back in action with us Friday?
Yeah, I'm gonna have some wine. I'll have the wine ready, man. Only because, especially, I'm still the new guy. I'm still the new guy, right? And I know that I have a lot to prove, and I don't mind that, right? But just know the amount of time and energy that I look at these games. Seriously, I want to make sure I can give you the best advantage possible. And if everything that I play. So when I lose my own money. So I'm really, really trying to make sure that I can win money for all of us here. So yeah, Jimmy, thanks for having me, man. I hope we can get it in. I might send you another lean or so, but this card is kind of tricky. And the last thing I'll say is we got a lot of teams that are playing back-to-backs, right? One of these teams is going to blow out a team with the rest advantage still. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. I don't think that every team that's on a back-to-back is just going to lose. So, yeah, it's one of those things now, man, to where be careful in your betting today. That's why, even though there's a lot of games, I didn't really have a lot of sides because I'm still learning. Growth mindset. So I appreciate it. I appreciate all the love from y'all. I really want to make sure I give you all money.
Well, we appreciate you very, very, very much. You're a huge addition to what we do here. We love working with you and have a ton of respect for you. Thank you for everything that you put in, all the energy, all the you just add so much to us. So we love you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Darryl, my man, follow him on Twitter @itsDarryl. @itsDarryl. And Darryl, we're going to be in San Antonio for a couple weeks, man. If you could roll through.
Yeah, I got to figure that out. I got to figure that out.
We'd lose our shit if you could do that.
Okay.
Much love, my man. Great work. And
appreciate
stay hot.
You.
Stay hot. There he is. It's Darryl in the house. So we haven't given out the taint play of the day. And it looks like, Maddie, we'll find out what's going on, but he's not going to be able to join us on shows in the morning. So he's going to be sending his action in. He's on Seattle -2. Taint, Seattle -2. An easy casher with Taint yesterday on UCLA. But today, Taint is Seattle -2. That is a Taint. Oh man, it is Mark Schillingberg's birthday. That's a great way to put the end to the show. Happy birthday. Jimmy says, I'm feeling shitty as hell. This show has been the highlight of my shitty birthday. Man, we love you. Pennsylvania's finest, Mark Schillingberg in the house. Much love to you, man. Happy birthday. I know that there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now that's keeping us from all hanging. You know what, Mark Schillingberg? Celebrate your birthday by getting a ticket to San Antonio, baby. Hang out with us in San Antonio. We love you. We love capping with you, Mark Schillingberg. Respect.
Oh, the mustache is back tonight.
Oh man, I love it.
The mustache will be fully progressed, and I will shave. And the mustache will be there for the NFL Pub Hub tonight at some time that I've forgotten already.
Oh wow, I love it. It looks hideous. It is perfect. We love it that it's back in action. So I've got 3 looks in NHL. 3 looks. And all big plus lines. Ducks first period at +185. Bruins first period at +140. And Capitals -1.5 at +120. In college basketball, Max only moved on 3. Oh, the spreadsheet play today in hockey is Washington. Max only moved on 3 moves here. I love, you know what? These guys, Max such a volume better. Max and both Max and Darryl are on nice big winning streaks, and they're keeping it tight, and I have a ton of respect for it. Max is on Providence first half, and sorry, there was said that I made a mistake on that. Let me just make sure. So was Providence the dog? Because that's what was said to me here. Let me just see if I did screw that up. That would not be, and I would hate that if I fucked that up. And Providence is. Sorry here. I know this is not the way we want to end the show, but where the fuck is Providence? Do we have gotta find out. If I screw, well, Max is on Providence first half, so I will. Oh, there it is. Yes, Providence is the dog. Thank you very much for letting me know that was a mistake. I had Providence first half -5. It's a plus spot. So I'm going to line shop for Max to get him the best plus line on Providence first half. That was a mistake. By the way, Dan Kelly adding the Spurs team total over 112 to his action. So look at all those official picks. I love it. So let's lock that in. Copy and paste that. And there we go. We have Dan Kelly's action all right there. Taint is Seattle -2. The spreadsheet play of the day in NBA is the Memphis Grizzlies. And we have, in addition to Dan Kelly's, also adding the Spurs team total over 112. At this point, there's some spots that I do want to add. I have a lot of interest in the Mavs first quarter, but I need to know that everybody's good. I know Hardaway's out, but I need to know that Luka's coming back and KP's coming back. I think the over that Dan's so bullish on in Grizzlies San Antonio Spurs, I want to see how far it's moved right now, because I think I might be jumping on that. And I can understand liking the Grizz, and Dennis Garcia being on the other side makes me hesitate. Then I want to back Sacramento first quarter, but 1-9 against the spread over their past 10 in the first quarter is not something that I like to hear. But I just feel like they should bounce back here after that horrific game last night in Boston. But that's saying that they have heart. The Hornets at -1.5. I'd be more comfortable if that had moved to 2. Let's move over here right now and just see, is money coming in on the Hornets? No. That's a red flag right there. And I want the Bucks, but I should wait till Jared Allen's in. So maybe I do nothing at this point. But we have a big NFL show tonight, and we have 10 guests coming on, just 2 games. So everybody will be getting 10 minutes. We're going to be firing through. And Jose Bouquet making his debut on NFL Pub.
I thought I was special, honestly. I thought there was only like 5. I thought we were only bringing like the select few, like elite cappers. Needless to know, we have 10 cappers.
All right. Big night tonight on NFL Pub Hub. Thank you guys so much for watching. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Dan Kelly, Stat Guap, Big Ragu, Michael Irvelina, Dennis Garcia, Wendy Espinoza, Mike M, Puzzler, Mark Schillingberg, Turnsy looking at Bertuzzi assist plus 125 as a play of the day. There's Gas Station Sushi in the house. We have the horse racing show back. We didn't have it last week because of the birth of Bryson. Razor Sharp picks his son, Bryson. But we're going to be doing horses on Friday. Top Shelf Plays, JC Alvarez, Sharon, T-Mac. What a great group. Nut Flush. Let's stay hot in NBA and get my shit together in NHL. But I love this opportunity to come with you guys every day. Let's go. Let's fucking go. On behalf of all of us at Pub Sports Radio, come party with us in San Antonio. But let's get that cash tonight. LECHE, hey, those bookmakers!